That's right, it's opening night in Death Valley. The first Saturday night of the season at Baton Rouge, and we are getting ready for the LSU home opener. The number 14 LSU Tigers ready to put last week's loss in the rearview mirror and make a little history at the same time as they meet the Grambling State Tigers for the first time ever. It's a Louisiana Saturday
Grambling
night.
won the toss, defers in the second half. LSU will receive.
And this should be fun here tonight as Grambling State and LSU meet. Brian Kelly, after losing to Florida State for the second straight year in the season opener, said last night was a total failure. All right, what do you expect here this evening?
Yeah, it's fun. I asked him about last season's game versus Florida State, and he said that was a little bit concerning with all the turnovers and penalties. He said he was very disappointed with the loss and the way they played last weekend versus Florida State, but did say this was the best week of practice. And you look at the roster and you look at what they're going to do defensively starting tonight, moving Harold Perkins around to a spot that he's going to be more comfortable in. This is still my favorite team to come out of the West to represent the SEC in Atlanta, but they got to get going with a win streak going tonight. Full season's in front of them, no doubt about it. They put last week behind them. They'll be just fine.
Well, it starts with Jaden Daniels. He'll tell you he needs to play better. Brian Kelly certainly agrees.
Well, the bar has been risen for Jaden, who's one of the premier dual-threat quarterbacks in the country. His ability to throw on the one, be creative, and then when things break down is a nightmare running the football. And he's progressed as a passer. I saw them in the spring game and in practice. His ability to sit in the pocket, push the ball vertically down the field is only going to continue to make him more of a threat running the football when things aren't there.
The great Eddie Robinson went to high school here in Baton Rouge. His Grambling Tigers never played LSU. He would have absolutely loved this. Hugh Jackson in his second year as head coach at Grambling, over 35 years in coaching. This is his first job as a college head coach. Of course, many years in the NFL, former Raiders and Browns head man, and now he's a Grambling State. Grambling won the toss. They deferred, so LSU will receive. We'll see Jaden Daniels in that LSU offense right out of the gate. They've got a lot to work through tonight because this is the last tune-up before 5 straight games in the SEC starting next week at Mississippi State. Tanner Rinker has it on the tee, and we're underway from Baton Rouge. This is going to be returned from inside the 5-yard line. Caleb Jackson will spill out across the 20-yard line, and that's where LSU is going to go to work. So Jaden Daniels, Aaron, 411 yards of total offense last week, 347 passing, 64 rushing, both team highs.
Yep.
But he knows, again, he didn't play his best, and they really want to see that running game get established behind him tonight.
Well, my biggest concern for this offense heading into the season was he cannot be your leading rusher. I know he's a great rusher. We highlighted that in the open, but this running game, these running backs have to take a step up, and Logan Diggs, number 3, that transfers in now, they expect big things from him going forward.
And it is Logan Diggs on the first carry, finds a seam right up the middle for a 12-yard run. Yeah. He was with Brian Kelly a couple of years ago at Notre Dame. He's here now, first game in a Tiger uniform, and he's going to be the feature back.
Yeah, and this is going to take so much pressure off Jaden just to focus on being a passer, not the entire weight of the offense on his shoulders.
Now Daniel wants to throw for the first time, and it's incomplete. He was going for Mason Taylor, the great tight end. Can't hang on to it. We saw some drops for LSU last week.
Which is interesting because we talked to the staff yesterday, and we heard across the country from USC to Georgia a lot of issues with drops in fall camp. And the staff told us we really didn't have that problem. And you saw some major concerns last week, though, against Florida State with guys not being able to catch it, tuck it.
Kyron Lacey going in motion. Diggs still in the backfield. Daniels now throwing. There is Lacey, and he's into plus territory. Inside the 45-yard line, Kyron Lacey brought down by Josh Darling.
A single high, and you're going to get Lacey. Does a great job of pushing the defender to the outside, then slipping into the inside and showing his numbers for his quarterback.
Lacey had a drop last week as well. He puts that behind him with a good big play early as Taylor makes a catch out in the flat for little or no gain. Mason Taylor, 4 catches last week in Orlando. And, of course, coming out that great freshman year, he's getting involved here early.
Well, so athletic, and you're already seeing him move around this offense, finding ways to get him matched up against linebackers.
And now we got our first penalty flag of the night. Looked like Grambling was offside. This defense for Grambling, you got to keep an eye on number 9, Sonny Anderson, preseason FCS All-American. They've got some athletes on that side.
Oh my, between him and then Lewis Matthews.
Number 98 defense made contact prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And this is a defense that was gut last week, and a lot of it was just guys trying to do too much. It's beginning of the season, it's week 1, you're trying to be Superman, you're trying to be a hero. You go back and you watch the tape, just do your job. That's the goal of this defense here tonight.
So after the penalty, 2nd down and 5 for LSU on their opening series. It's Diggs again looking for room. Another flag down on the field on the far side as Diggs is pushed out by Chris Dagry, the cornerback. He's their best cover corner. And we'll see what the flag is about. Mark Curls is our referee.
Offside, number 9 defense lined up in the neutral zone. Penalties decline, results of the play is a first down.
Grambling pretty undisciplined here in the early season. They took 9 penalties last week in the loss to Hampton.
Listen, if you're going to come on the road to this big, beautiful stadium here, Death Valley, and be the heavy underdog, you can't shoot yourself in the foot, especially early on in the game. Talk about this defense not playing fundamental last week. A couple early penalties right now.
First down and 10. Daniels, all kinds of time to throw, whips it across the middle, and it's incomplete. And there's yet another drop. Brian Thomas had a red zone drop in the loss to Florida State, and this is not a good start for his night.
Man, I was just about to rave about Jaden Daniels getting through his progression. He wanted to work a layers concept to the left, and you saw his eyes and footwork in perfect sync right there, going from 1 to 2, and then finding the big dig route coming from the right side and puts it right on his helmet. Got to be able to catch it.
Thomas had a career-high 7 catches for 142 last week. Had that 75-yard touchdown late. This one is caught. That's Chris Hilton, the ex-receiver out of Zachary, Louisiana. He's going to get 6. So it'll be 3rd down and manageable here for LSU. On the opening drive last week, Aaron, got down to the Florida State 2-yard line, saw that stop by Florida State. It was kind of indicative of how the rest of the night went.
In some bad decisions from Jaden in the read game on the zone reads. It's something that he knows he has to be better at. The one thing I do love about LSU, essentially like hockey line changes right now because they're so deep at receiver, being able to rotate guys in and out.
They were 3 for 10 on 3rd down against Florida State. Trying to pick up and convert here. Daniels with pressure, got rid of it, man wide open in the end zone. Catching it, Brian Thomas redeeming himself. 26-yard touchdown catch. And the Tigers of LSU are on the board first.
Well, one DB thought it was man, another DB thought it was zone, and you got a slot fade from the number 2 receiver, and it looked like a punt return catch in the end zone. One of the easiest touchdowns Jaden will throw in his career.
Second touchdown pass of the year for Daniels. And Thomas, his 2nd touchdown catch in as many games. Damian Ramos coming on for the extra point. The sophomore out of Baltimore. He bangs it home. 8 plays, 77 yards in 240. Brian Thomas with the easy wide open touchdown catch to start the night.
That's actually a tough catch because you're so wide open and you're thinking, am I in bounds? Am I running out of bounds? Where's my feet? No one's around me. There's a lot of things going on as that ball seems like it's eternity in the air. But great play design and defensively, a couple miscues with some offside penalties. And then the miscommunication on man or zone on the back end right there. LSU, great drive, and it must feel good to get that first touchdown after all the negativity over the week about this offense and about this football team after last week versus Florida State. They come out and make a statement with a touchdown drive to get things going. Has to feel good for Brian Kelly and his Tigers.
Marquise Britton is back deep to return here for Grambling as Nathan Dybert will kick it off. They're going to bring it out. And probably wish that he hadn't. Joshua Johnson is upended in about the 17-yard line, and that's where Grambling will go to work on offense for the first time. Miles Crawley, redshirt junior out of Lithonia, Georgia, transferred in from Alabama State. Passed for over 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns last week against Hampton in the Brick City Classic. This is a guy who gets it out quickly.
Yes, and that's the time. And this offense was based off of Lincoln Riley and Garrett Riley. The quarterback has to be on time, in rhythm, and obviously accurate with the football.
And he's going to throw it here in the flat. Oh, my, a big hit. Guess who? Harold Perkins. You knew he was going to come in here loaded for bear, and he lays a stick on his first opportunity of the night.
The fans love to see number 4 running wild out there, making plays. He's going to be all over this place. He's going to be playing a little stand-up defensive end. He'll be at the linebacking position. Brian Kelly told us, enough of development. I'm just out here trying to win football games going forward. So 4, we're going to put you in your natural spot.
Josh Quiet, the tight end from right here in Baton Rouge, took the brunt end of that hit. Thrown deep, and that is caught. Crowley hits Antonio Jones, who got involved in the offense early last week. That's a first down catch into plus territory, 33 yards.
Yeah, and Alexander was on him. One-on-one coverage, back shoulder fade, just perfectly placed with confidence. Not much better you can do from the quarterback position. Not much better you can do from the DB position. He was all over it. Better throw wins, though.
This LSU secondary last week had a hard time maintaining leverage. Beat on a deep ball there. Now Crowley outside, far sideline. It's going to be a short gain. And that one was caught by Jones as well. Let's go back to that last Jones reception.
Maybe even a little bit of a hold from Alexander at the cornerback position too, and that's why I love from a receiver to fight through it. So many receivers in that situation right there would essentially give up, look to the ref, where's the penalty, throw their hands in the air. No, you fight through it, you try to make the catch. If a flag's thrown, tremendous job adjusting to it.
Chance Williams in the backfield with Crowley. And now we got a penalty flag. It's going to be a false start. Another penalty here against the Grambling State Tigers.
Offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Going back to cornerback, Aaron, Zy Alexander and Deuce Chestnut, they're the starters. But we expect to see a lot of Texas A&M transfer Denver Harris tonight as he makes his season debut in the secondary.
And they're excited about Denver Harris, number 10, and getting out there and seeing what he can do. Very talented. They believe could be one of the most talented DBs in this conference. Just needs to play with some discipline when he does get his number called.
Second down and 11. Chance Williams finds some room. Comes to the near side. First down and more. Finally pushed out by Major Burns at the 30-yard line.
Well, my first note for Chance Williams is fast, quick, and will make you miss in the hole. We saw all of that right there on that run. Quickness, ability to make someone miss, and then explode for the big run game. All of a sudden, this offense creating some explosion through the air and on the ground.
There's a man down for Grambling. 61-year-old Brian Kelly, 10 wins in year 1 in Baton Rouge, an SEC West title. Rebounded last year from the Florida State loss in week 1.
Yep.
Hoping his team shows the kind of grit his club last year did.
I tell you what, they're in a better spot this year. They look significantly better this year versus Florida State compared to last year. If you want to take any kind of positivity from that game last weekend.
Now Melvin Priestley, the left tackle, is going to line up as a receiver out wide. Chantrell Key, the right tackle, is in the injury tent. Wide open receiver caught at the 15-yard line by Nason Dickerson. And now he's hurt. So Miles Crawley right on the money to Dickerson, who makes an athletic play, the South Alabama transfer, but he pays the price.
Man, Crawley right now is just delivering darts down the field. And these balls got some steam on them, too. Just a slow wheel route in that unique formation. Does a great job of throttling. And hopefully he's okay, but man. Right now, I've been really impressed with Crawley and his ability to push the ball vertically down the field, giving his receivers opportunities to go up there, make plays.
Zy Alexander throwing his weight around. The transfer from Southeastern Louisiana had 7 tackles last week in his LSU debut, and Hugh Jackson coming over to the sideline, and he's thinking, man, at this rate, am I going to have enough players to finish halftime?
Yeah. And I know LSU fans thinking at the moment, too, man, we got burned last week, secondary-wise, over and over again against FSU and those top receivers. Can we progress? And good to see that young man get up, just bounce up.
Well, his play is the 3rd play of 15 yards or more on this series for Grambling.
Just a little bit of an awkward fall. But we do have, for LSU, Denver Harris is in the ball game, number 10. He's to the field, to the top of your screen. They're hoping he brings some juice to this defensive backfield that obviously struggled in a big way against a very talented Seminole offense in receiving core.
Crowley out of the gun, 1st down and 10. 10 minutes to go, opening period. This is Chance Williams right up the middle, maybe a yard and a half. You were talking about Denver Harris, and Denver's going to be as good as he wants to be. We were talking with defensive coordinator Matt House, Brian Kelly. They said that he's going to be as good as he stays disciplined.
Yeah, stays disciplined, and he's also going to play as much as he wants to this evening. It's going to be his ability to digest the playbook, go out there and execute at a high level. And if he continues to prove to the coaching staff that he can handle that, you'll see a lot of number 10, hopefully playing cornerback.
2nd down and 9. Crowley going to the end zone against Harris. Beautiful catch. J.R. Waters right around Harris. Somehow secured that football for the touchdown.
Just beauty. Crawley right now is feeling himself to start this football game. And it's great coverage by Denver Harris. I mean, we circled him, say, hey, number 10's on the field. Let's see what he can do. And he's draped all over the receiver. We're going to have to take another look to make sure that a foot got down, but beautifully thrown football once again by Crawley. Then J.R. Waters at 6'3", 180 pounds, able to get it. I think it's going to be that left foot. Oh, right foot. Yeah, that right foot looks like it comes down inbounds before the left one goes down. Hard to defend a perfectly thrown football.
7 plays, 83 yards. It's going to stand up, and Grambling goes down the field in under 3 minutes with some explosive plays on that drive. And here comes Tanner Rinker on for the extra point. Looking to tie this one up. And he does, and Grambling making a statement on their opening drive. I mean, we knew that Grambling came in with a quarterback who could throw it around. They've got a good tight end, a talented receiving group. We saw it on that drive, and Hugh Jackson excited so far to see that they are matching up with this LSU defense. Grambling fired up after that 65-yard scoring drive. Miles Crowley 4 for 5 and a touchdown pass. And this beautiful catch by J.R. Waters to pay it off.
And the ability to just barely get that right foot down into the purple end zone. I mean, LSU's first drive was almost perfect with Jane moving the ball down the field. And then Grambling said, not so fast. Let's see what we can do when we get the ball in our hands. They march right down the field to tie this thing up.
First meeting between Grambling and LSU. Big game for the schools. It's a big game for the state of Louisiana. Grambling has 12 players from the city of Baton Rouge, 48 from the state of Louisiana. You can tell that they're playing with an energy here tonight. LSU coming off a pretty good scoring drive of their own on the opening series. Now Jaden Daniel and the Tigers ready to get it back. Another short kick. And Caleb Jackson, the true freshman, brings it back, and he's going to be stopped short of the 25-yard line. So Jaden Daniels so far tonight, 4 of 6, 53 yards and a touchdown. Brian Kelly has said it countless times here that he wants Jaden to be more decisive. Didn't think he was decisive enough in the Florida State game in Orlando. What did you see on the opening drive?
Well, it starts with the footwork. And you talk about decisive, that's more of the zone reads. That's the first thing. A couple bad decisions on when to hand it, when to pull it, which cost him opportunities to put points on the board. But his feet will guide him, and that's something he's worked hard on.
He's going to take off, design quarterback run. He is so good at this. Elusive, and he's going to spill across the 35-yard line, 11 yards and a first down.
Oh, it's always so hard for a defense when you get into an empty formation, especially with this type of receiving unit. They're so talented. You need DBs to go back, but if you want to go to a light box, they'll just run it on you.
Logan Diggs, they fake it to him. And now they get it out in the hands of Brian Thomas again. He had the touchdown grab on the first series. Penalty flag in the backfield.
I think it's going to get late hit on Jaden here. But I'm going to be nitpicky right there for Jaden Daniels on that throw. Ball was behind the receiver, makes him adjust.
Foul. Roughing the passer, number 21 defense. 15-yard penalty added at the end of the run. First down.
Makes him adjust. That's something that the coaching staff told us yesterday. Those are the little things now. We talk about expectations from year 1 to year 2 have risen. We want that ball 1 foot in front of the number so I can catch it, keep my speed as receiver, and get down the field to get a few more yards.
Jaden Daniels was so accurate last year. Just 2 interceptions the entire season. Threw a bad one last week in the fourth quarter. He's going to throw again here. Steps up, heaves it deep downfield. He's got Chris Hilton, and he's got a touchdown. Chris Hilton had a couple of steps on Ryan Fields, who just had the penalty moments ago. 47 yards, and LSU goes back in front.
It's a scissors concept. Malik Neighbors is going to run the corner. And then Hilton is going to run the big post. You see the safety takes number 2, what he should be doing. And then because of that condensed formation, you're going to have great leverage on that corner. He's going to be outside leverage. As soon as he loses his safety support from the inside, it's an easy post route for the touchdown. Great design going into the bunch, knowing you're going to get outside leverage. That safety is going to get knocked out of the way by number 8, Malik Neighbors, in the slot.
Chris Hilton, one of the fastest players in college football. He runs a sub-4.340.
And he was flying. Another beautifully designed play, open receiver. And Jaden Daniels starts off the game red hot for the Tigers.
A lot of fireworks on this Louisiana Saturday night. 14-7, LSU goes back in front. We've had 3 possessions total in this football game and 3 touchdown passes.
It has been, if you came for offense tonight, you're getting it early. We'll see if we get some defense here from LSU, as fans are hoping they settle in a little bit and start making some plays from the secondary.
Dybert leaves it short of the end zone. C.J. Guidry, the Houston transfer, is leveled short of the 15-yard line. Man, Grambling has been on the receiving end of some hard hits. Princeton Marlboro, number 52, the gunner on that play. Here's next Saturday's Week 3 SEC Network football lineup. Missouri and number 15 K-State at noon Eastern. Number 23 Texas A&M hosting ULM. Auburn and Samford. Ole Miss hosting Georgia Tech in our SEC Saturday night matchup. All 4 games also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Texas A&M having issues again today.
Yeah, Miami was the more physical team, and a monster win for the Hurricanes.
Miles Crowley at quarterback. We'll hand off for Chance Williams. Williams was their leading rusher last week, 37 yards and a touchdown on 7 carries. And the line of scrimmage, obviously, that's going to be a challenge tonight for a young offensive line for Grambling. They lost a couple of starters to the transfer portal in the offseason.
Oh, and for LSU, a lot of excitement with big number 0, Mason Smith in there. He's going to get about 30 snaps, maybe up to 40, but going to continue to work him back into playing shape right now. Potential top 10 pick in the NFL draft. Missed him last week with some NCAA nonsense, so it's good to see number 0 back in the game.
Keelan Elder checks into the backfield. They fake the handoff to him. They'll dump it off short. And this is going to be Antonio Jones again, and he's got another first down for Grambling as the passing game continues to find holes in this LSU offense. Agofu makes the tackle.
Well, you hit some big plays on these defensive backs, and they're going to kind of be a little bit hesitant to come up. So they perfect job that first drive. 3 big shots with a touchdown included in that. Now you see them kind of relax a little bit, make it easy for those screens on the outside.
2 receivers to the near side. Sprinting out this way is Crowley, but he missed his man. He was trying to hit Lyndon Rash, the 7th-year senior. Another Baton Rouge kid.
Oh, he had the big game, but last week, 8 catches, 90 yards, and a touchdown. They're going to want to continue to find ways to get him involved in this game. 6 foot 220, physical enough to play with these DBs here for the Tigers.
2nd and 10. Again, on the move. Crawley steps up and throws, and that's going to be incomplete. Tried to hit Jones, who was tap dancing along the sideline. Zy Alexander was there. As we go under 7 minutes, it's going to be a 3rd down and 10 here as the LSU defense tries to get off the field, get a stop for the first time.
Well, now you got to be very cautious. We've already seen a quarterback throw the ball 2 times on these back shoulder fades. So you want to be hip to hip with these DBs, ready to, as soon as the receiver goes up to make the catch, rip your hand through there and knock it down if you do want to be in press coverage.
We just saw offensive coordinator Tony Hull, first-year play caller, and timeout called by Grambling.
First charge timeout, Grambling.
Former NASA employee.
30-second
so this
timeout.
play calling thing should come
easy.
pretty easy after working at NASA for a few years. We'll see what he's going to do on this 3rd down situation. Grambling was 7 of 14 on 3rd down last week. One of the things that actually went pretty well for them in week 1.
I mean, offensively, they looked good last week. There's no doubt about it. It was squarely on the defensive side of the football, the inability to get off the field, not be able to slow down the running game, turn that game into a shootout. But when you see what they did last week on this side of the football and how efficient their quarterback was, they know they could put points on the board.
You mentioned Mason Smith, first full game since the Texas Bowl 20 months ago. And Brian Kelly said, we need him to lead immediately. This would be a good time on a 3rd down and 10.
And you see number 4 playing that defensive end position.
And more motion for Grambling. I think it's Melvin Priestley, the tackle.
False start, number 71, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
4th penalty already against Grambling.
Just can't do that. You can't do that. Especially just as I alluded to, Harold Perkins, number 4, to put a smile on about 95,000 people's faces here in Death Valley. Lined up next to Mason Smith. What a beautiful sight. Big number 0, number 4, side by side right now. Wanted to put pressure on this quarterback in a 3rd and long situation.
They're going to run. Chance Williams catches LSU napping. Williams hops around a defender, still on his feet, inside the 45 of LSU. Perkins finally tracked him down, but that's a 35-yard run.
And they knew, listen, we don't want to put our offensive line in a situation to have to block 4 and 0 in a 3rd and long situation. Let's just run the football, get some yards back for our special teams, and not so fast. Chance Williams with the speed. And all of a sudden, they're in LSU territory.
He's one of those Grambling players who grew up here in Baton Rouge. You think that means something to him? He'll get another tote and another good run. A first down to the 30-yard line. Alexander finally makes the tackle, a gain of 14.
And definitely a little shocking right now for this defensive line. And the offense line for Grambling State's the one that is initiating the push, driving to the second level. And these running backs right now are getting through some gaping holes going against the Tigers defense.
Goals for this defense tonight: execution, effort, and maintain leverage. The execution right now is a big issue.
Well, and gap discipline too. Guys need to be in their spot. That's when you see those big holes, when you're trying to do too much instead of just trusting your buddy next to you.
They stay with the hot hand. It's Chance Williams, and he'll be whipped out of bounds on the far sideline. Greg Penn.
Oh, and that's what they're going to do with those running backs. They love to be able to rotate those guys and keep them fresh, but if there's one that does have that hot hand, they're going to continue to ride him as long as he's got the energy to stay in the ball game. And right now, it's number 2, Chance Williams.
That was actually Chalk, Aaron. My bad. Floyd Chalk, 13 carries last week. Team only had 88 yards rushing in week 1. He got 73 already here tonight. That's complete to Antonio Jones on the slant. And Grambling, first down and 10 at the 8-yard line.
And Antonio Jones did a great job putting his foot in the ground. And you see the run action. You see the linebackers come up. And then the receiver with a beautiful, crisp route. Turn the DB right around.
First and goal, Chalk. He's going to be met by Savion Jones. Chalk, their leading rusher last year as a freshman. Second down and goal for Grambling. Chalk is going to head to the sideline. And Keelan Elder, the 6th-year veteran, a little bit bigger back, a 200-pounder, is going to check in for Grambling.
Right now, I'm looking at number 1 into the boundary. J.R. Walters, if he stays back there at 6'3". Great red zone matchup. If you get one-on-one, Crawley's been tremendous with those back shoulder fades.
This LSU defense desperately needing to make something happen. They're going to get to Elder and cut him down for a little gain, maybe a yard and a half. 11th play of the drive coming up. That's Braden Swinson on that stop.
And a great job by Mingo as well, shedding the left guard and being able to get up there. And he was one of the big bright spots for LSU last week versus FSU, his ability to take over at the defensive line with Mason Smith not playing in the game. And the thought was, hey, you got 18 playing at a high level, you get 0 back there as well. And how good could this defensive line be? And right now, they got to take their game to another level.
See, maybe Grambling will call a timeout. Yep, before the play clock expires. A third down and goal here for Grambling, who's representing their university well here so far tonight. Down a touchdown, but going toe-to-toe with the LSU Tigers. Here's that long run for Chance Williams, Baton Rouge native, that put Grambling here on the doorstep.
And no one there. I mean, you're playing at too high safety to give your corner some support, especially with all the deep ball throws. And as soon as you bust it down the middle of the field, there's just no one left. All of a sudden, you have a chance to tie this game up. 3rd and 8 situation. Once again, my focus, number 1, J.R. Walters. Can you get him one-on-one with his big frame? And if you do get some safety support, look for number 10 possibly in the slot.
Miles Crowley brings him up to the line. He's already got a touchdown pass in this end zone tonight. Chance Williams in the backfield. 3rd down and goal from the LSU 8. Crowley to the flat, closing quickly on Williams. He moves around the defender again, stays in bounds, and it's going to be 4th down. Zy Alexander stepping up to make another big play for LSU. So now 4th down, and the field goal unit will come out as the LSU defense is able to make a stand.
It's a nice stand for them, but for Grambling State to be able to get through that 3rd and 15 and then find a way to get some points on the board.
That's Major Burns, who just missed blowing up that play. This will be a 24-yard attempt for Rinker. He's 1 for 1 on the season, hit a 33-yarder last week. And 3 on the board for Grambling. And it's now 14-10. Now this Grambling State offense certainly has come to play. They are moving the football at times, it appears, at will.
Yes, they've done a great job. It's been a nice mixture of the pass and run, too, which I think is always tough on a defense. I mean, if you're just giving up big explosive plays for the pass game, you can manipulate your coverage to help those corners. But now all of a sudden you are seeing an offensive line that's creating gaping holes. So as a coordinator, you're like, all right, do I need to commit an extra body into the box? Or I need to bring a safety in there to help slow down the running game? So for this defense for LSU Tigers, got to find a way with that front four. And we talk about Mason Smith easing his way into the season. You may get a little bit more number 0 right now if they can't figure out a way to stop the run.
Tony Hall, the offensive coordinator, has to be pleased. He's a Louisiana native, too. Extremely fired up to be calling plays in this stadium. It's not rocket science for sure, but going up against the LSU front 7 that they deliver. So far, so good. Last win against an FBS opponent, by the way, in case you're wondering, for Grambling. You got to go back to 1985 to find it. Came against Oregon. 12 plays, 80 yards in under 6 minutes. They have to settle for a field goal, but we've had 4 offensive possessions for the 2 teams combined and 4 scores. Brinker kicks it deep. From the 5-yard line, Jackson again. Comes back to the middle of the field. He's touched there, now gets loose to the near side. Jackson, good return to the 31. They are excited about this true freshman, Caleb Jackson. That's a 27-yard return. We should see a lot of him at some point in the running game, which they want to showcase him. They want to showcase more of Logan Diggs, too.
Yeah. Coach Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, it's funny, the word he used for this young running back, Caleb Jackson, he said he went bonkers in fall camp. Was a little bit banged up last week. That's why you didn't see him. But they're excited. 3 and 28, the running back spot, bring that ability to create explosive plays.
But on first down, it's an empty backfield. Daniels hits Neighbors in stride, and that's a first down and much more. Finally wrestled down at the 39-yard line. A pickup of 30 for Malik Neighbors.
Oh, that's someone else who can go bonkers if you want to give him the opportunity. And this is where they want to put him a little bit more in the slot going forward. They feel like they put him at the X receiver a little bit too much last week.
And now going down in a heap. There's Sonny Anderson, the preseason FCS All-American. Finally, we hear from Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, he's very talented. Put about 20 pounds on this offseason in every down defensive end. I want to go back, though, to Malik Neighbors. A little bit quiet last week. You talk about Jaden's interception. Malik actually slipped on the play. Just was not as crisp as they wanted to running his routes. But they feel like, once again, moving him around, he's going to get less press coverage in that slot position.
20 straight games with a catch now for Neighbors. Daniels is going to keep it himself. Finds a big hole on the right side, and he exploits it. Ooh, and he's going to be thrown down out of bounds. There's another penalty flag. Cedric Anderson, the 6'4" corner, who transferred in from Northwestern State, is going to be called for the unsportsmanlike conduct we expect.
Just undisciplined play from Grambling, but man, Jaden, that's what he does best right there.
Yeah, in his defense, he was falling down, and Daniels just got tied up with him.
There is no foul for late hit out of bounds.
Yeah, they're going to pick up the flag, and I think that's a good no call there, actually.
I agree with that one. Good no call there. But I do want to see these running backs. I mean, we just talked about it with Logan Diggs and Caleb Jackson. I mean, the goal is to take hits off your quarterback, not continue to run them. So let those other guys get some touches as well.
Josh Williams in the backfield. He's going to get a carry. Josh Williams high-stepping his way inside the 20-yard line. Of course, he was the great walk-on story last year, led all LSU running backs in rushing a season ago. There are so many guys they're going to factor in. It's such a deep position. They've got 8 scholarship running backs, and of course, John Emery comes back next week. They keep it on the ground.
Yeah, all of a sudden, then you had a couple explosive running backs. John Emery, and we saw a little taste of him last season, what he's able to do. And it's just going to add so much more balance. So once again, you're not having to put the pressure on Jaden to be Superman. And then teams are going to have a legitimate dilemma. I mean, you look at the receivers. Do you want to go single high against those guys? I would not. I mean, the biggest hindrance from this team going where they need to go is this running back room taking their game to another level.
End of the first quarter.
Well, we'll see what we get for an encore in the second quarter. Pretty good first quarter between these two in-state foes. Grambling and LSU meeting for the first time, and Grambling has come to play. Jaden Daniels, he started 2 for 4, but he is 5 for his last 5. He's got a couple of touchdowns tonight. Saturday night, Baton Rouge, home opener for LSU. They lead it 14-10. We start the second quarter. Jaden Daniels, second down and 5 in the red zone. This was a Achilles heel last week in Orlando. Jet sweep, Neighbors, left side. He's got the first down. And it's first and goal here for the Tigers. Only 2 touchdowns and 5 trips in the red zone last week, Aaron. Stopped twice in the first quarter. Here's an opportunity to drive it in early in the second quarter.
Yeah, and moving Neighbors into the slot, you're able to do so much more with him like that. Some jet sweeps, quick hitting plays. But I do think at some point this offensive line is going to have to step up and make some room for the running backs.
Josh Williams off the left hip of Daniels. As Neighbors goes in motion, they're going to pop it to him again. Neighbors going for the pylon. He got it. Touchdown. Boy, he made that look really easy. Malik Neighbors in from 7 yards out.
It was the lazy jog over. Am I going to get the jet sweep? Am I not? All of a sudden, pop pass to number 8. It's one-on-one with Lane Lewis, number 97. And I'll take my matchup with number 8 against a defensive end any day of the week. And I believe that's a passing touchdown, too.
That's number 3
nice
for Daniels. He's got the hat trick here in the first half. Did you have many of those in your 4 years at Georgia?
The pop pass?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We used to hand them off, and then finally Bubba was like, you know what? I like running yards, but I like passing yards even better.
Pad the stats.
Heck yeah.
Here's Ramos. Damian Ramos. Making it 21-10. So LSU, a 7-play, 69-yard drive, again under 3 minutes. And Neighbors, one of the top receivers in the SEC last year, has the touchdown.
Daniels had a great first score, and he was challenged. I mean, listen, I don't think his job's necessarily in jeopardy anytime soon, but Garrett Nussmeier is a pretty reliable quarterback right behind him, and Jaden has shown in this beginning of this football game why he was so highly touted and talked about as a possibly Heisman guy heading into this season. Ability to push the ball vertically down the field was something he worked on really hard this offseason, and then we know what he is as a runner. Well, but 9 of 11, 145, 3 tutties, about 21 yards rushing as well early on in this football game.
Jaden Daniels, the Arizona State transfer, second-year starter at LSU. And this is his 45th career start, third most of any active FBS quarterback. Nathan Dybert to kick it off. Low line drive, and this is going to bounce through the end zone. So can you think about who might join him on that list? Well, they popped it up. So it's not a trivia question. Here it is. Bo Nix, Sam Hartman, Jaden Daniels. Most career starts among active quarterbacks. Daniels not far behind those two guys.
Hey, when you get that extra COVID year, these guys are just playing a million games, taking advantage of it. Those other two, man, good company. Notre Dame with a great win today. Crazy weather there against NC State. Had to postpone it for a little bit, but came out and had a tremendous day. And then Bo Nix in Oregon looked like one of the favorites in the Pac-12. So, yeah, good company to be around. Experienced quarterback play It's a beautiful thing.
That game in Eugene in a couple of weeks against Colorado looking real big now, isn't it? Colorado, of course, winning again today. Floyd Chalk in the backfield. And that is bobbled and dropped in and out of the hands of Tylen Williams. Freshman can't hang on. Second down.
Well, Harold Perkins was playing there at the nickel position, and he's one-on-one with Lyndon Rash, who's trying to block number 4. And you kind of sense that as a receiver, the guy who's supposed to be protecting you is just getting run back, put on skates, because one of the best players in the country is knocking him backwards. Makes you take your eye off the ball just for a quick second.
After that drop, Crowley 7 for 11, 91 yards and a touchdown. Chalk again in the backfield. Lone receiver to the right. Crowley looking that way. He is going to throw deep. One-on-one coverage and a penalty flag. Denver Harris. We talked about him getting a long look tonight at cornerback, the 5-star transfer from Texas A&M.
Number 11 defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot.
He's going to be flagged.
First down.
One-on-one, just another go ball. And I don't see the penalty. If anything, it should be on Grambling. They're holding each other there. That's a better look. They're both holding in. A lot of jersey grabbing on both sides. And 10 right now. Not a great start to him making the case to be cornerback 1 going forward.
What did we say about Harris? It's all about him and his discipline, because he has certainly got the skills. Crowley hits a man in stride over the middle. That is going to be a first down and more to the 35-yard line. Javon Robinson, fast freshman out of Florida City, picks up 25.
Man, 5'6", 180 pounds. And he's one-on-one with Harold Perkins in the slot. Does a great job creating just enough separation. The beautifully thrown pass once again.
Crowley fakes the handoff, rolling out, and he's just going to throw it away. He was being pressured by Harold Perkins.
We're going to have linemen downfield. When this RPO as a quarterback, you got to get rid of it. Offensive line has no idea. I mean, look at this ball. Threaded it.
There's no foul for
by number 4.
receiver downfield as the quarterback.
Miles Crowley, Aaron, he impressed a ton of people this summer at the Manning Passing Academy up in Thibodaux.
Yep.
I mean, this guy, he could start a lot of places. He wanted to come to Grambling, and he's running the offense for offensive coordinator Tony Hull, who has called a really nice game here in the first half so far.
A great mixture of the run game, not afraid to take shots down the field. I mean, they saw what happened last week versus Florida State, and they are not intimidated right now.
4 receivers bunched up top. Josh Quiet, the tight end, one of them. But they're going to come to the weak side, and it's in and out of the hands of C.J. Guidry, incomplete. Alexander was right in the vicinity defending.
And I would say that's probably the first bad throw we've seen from Crowley tonight. Easy throw, slant route, you head off coverage. You put this on the receiver's chest, and you get a nice gain to make this a third and more of a manageable situation. And for LSU right now, it's in the back of your head. That third and long previous drive, Grambling State not afraid to run the football, especially 4-down territory right here. You better, as a safety, be alert.
We'll see if Crowley runs. We haven't seen him really do that yet tonight, but they hand it off. It is Williams, and it's Williams again with a big play. Down to the 7-yard line of LSU. Major Burns with a touchdown-saving tackle.
And I'm just surprised that you were not more prepared for that. I mean, it's a third and long situation in 4-down territory zone with a team that just ran on you the previous possession on third and long. So you got to commit more guys to the box.
They stay with Williams, picking his way inside the 5. Then he's finally stacked up and thrown down. But that'll be a gain of 3, so second down and goal to go from just inside the 5. And this Williams, sophomore out of Baton Rouge, he is impressive.
I mean, I'm seeing suddenness from these running backs, great vision, patience, and then give credit to the big boys up front, man. They are paving the way. Some monster holes for these running backs.
Now Chalk and Talbert check in the backfield. Williams is off the field, over 100 yards rushing. Crowley looking to the end zone. He's going to lob it up, and it is nearly intercepted. Kovanis Knighton was the intended receiver. Boy, that was a dangerous throw there for Crowley.
That's silly right there. You throw that ball away, and for how rough of a first quarter and a half for Denver Harris, that would have helped put him in the good graces of the coaching staff. He's able to reel that one in there, but as a quarterback, man, you're inside the 5-yard line. Nothing's open. You throw that ball into the stands if you want to, and you get the third down.
He's made so many good decisions tonight. Forced one there. Got away with it. Third down and goal. They're going to run it with Elder, and Elder has nothing. Keelan Elder piled up by Greg Penn and Savion Jones, who added 30 pounds this past offseason for situations just like this.
Well, that's a great job by Savion Jones right there. Running back thought he had the ability to bounce it to the outside, but number 35 said, not so fast. Was able to shed the tackle, force running back inside. LSU, little bend but don't break. Still would love to see them dominate a little bit more, not giving up any points or any sort of field goals. But better in the red zone.
It's no good for Tanner Rinker from 23 yards out. He hit the first one from 33, but can't hit from 23. So it stays 21-10. Hugh Jackson knew this was going to be a tough night for his Grambling State Tigers, but they're hanging in there. They go 9 plays, 69 yards, but come up empty. With that said, this Grambling running game is finding big holes against LSU's defense.
Big holes. I think part of it was just, these third and long situations where you're just not committing enough defenders to the box, and it's just a numbers game. You had 5 for 5. They're able to create an explosive run.
Jaden Daniels for LSU on first down is complete to Brian Thomas, who has a touchdown here tonight. That's out to the 32, a gain of a dozen.
That's a great route on the outside. One-on-one coverage from Brian Thomas. And man, when Jaden's feet are calm, and listen, the offense line's dominating. They should be calm. He is a very accurate thrower of the football, and that's something they've worked hard since spring, of just calming him down, being able to feel like he can progress through his throws without the instinct of, let me just get off and run because I'm a great athlete. No, sit in the pocket, trust those receivers on the outside.
Yeah, we haven't really seen happy feet so far tonight. They're going to run right through that defense of Grambling with Logan Diggs. Again, did not play last week in week 1 because of a hamstring. Looks like he's moving around pretty good tonight. Ran for over 1,000 yards in his time with the Irish.
Nice patience, cut. I want to see more of that. I just want to see some just get up, design run plays for the running backs, and see what they can do. Put some pressure on that unit.
Back into Grambling territory. Run it again with Diggs. It's going to be another first down.
Right now, we're seeing a little bit of a change at the offensive line position. Freshman number 53, Lance Hurd. And this was the plan heading into the game. Move to right tackle, and then Emory Jones moved from right tackle to right guard. There's a belief this makes this offensive line a little bit more physical, a little bit more dominant to run the ball like this, and also more athletic.
Mason Taylor, the tight end, in motion. They fake it to Diggs. Daniels has all kinds of time, looking for Taylor, who had to come back for the football. That was an awkward-looking attempt. And it lands incomplete. Now Mason Taylor, this is not good. He's limping.
Yeah, just trying to force that one in there. Did Jaden.
We talked about Lance Hurd. There he is. That is a huge true freshman, 6'6", 340.
That's what you call adding some more physicality. Big man, great size, young. We'll see what he can handle there at the right tackle position.
Diggs again. Oh, what a spin move. Stays on his feet. Boy, you can see why the coaching staff is so fired up. Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, said Diggs is going to get a big-time look here tonight. We're fired up about him.
And could have used him, number 3, last week versus FSU to take some pressure off their quarterback. But, man, nice little spin, another spin. The bounce, that's what you always know from an elite elite athletes is the balance to be able to take hits and stay up, to take another hit and stay up. And that's a good sign for LSU, who's become accustomed to great running back play over the years. See what number 3 can do.
Logan Diggs from nearby Butte, Louisiana. Thomas comes back in tight. They go back to Diggs, another first down. LSU, they'll move the chains after that 6-yard run. Lewis Matthews, the middle linebacker, made the tackle. He was the leading tackler for Grambling last year. And maybe now LSU starting to wear down this Grambling defense just a bit.
Well, and it is the coach's belief that changing up this offensive line and putting Lance in there is going to add that physicality. So they're getting exactly what they're anticipating and wanting from the young freshman.
Boy, Diggs. Oh, my. Trying to hurdle Nori Johnson. Johnson hung in there. It's a gain of 16 for Logan Diggs, who was trying to launch over the man.
And he obviously did not learn from Jaden Daniels last week, who himself tried to hurdle a couple defenders and got taken down pretty aggressively.
First down and goal to go. Grambling showing blitz, and they were too aggressive. Free play. Looking for Kyron Lacey. Lands incomplete. Let's go back to that last play. Logan Diggs. He has been great on this drive for LSU.
Number 97 and number 2 defense. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Replay first down.
And I think that's the kind of thing there. You know, even if it's ill-advised, that the coaching staff wants to see this guy's got fire in his belly.
Oh yeah, fire in the belly, playmaking ability, and that's what they want from the position. And obviously, being a big kid at 215 pounds, you're thinking that DB is going to go low on you, and unfortunately for him, he guessed wrong on that one.
First down, goal to go. Inside the 5, they're going to stick it in Diggs' belly. He wants to cap this drive. He's wrapped up at the 3. Boy, they have really been featuring the running game on this series, and that's what LSU certainly wanted to do.
Well, I think it is putting some pressure on the offensive line too. You know, there was a challenge based on what they saw last week of, guys, we got to be more physical. We have to lean on this running game if we're going to want to do what we need to do, and that's get back to Atlanta, win the SEC West. You can't do it being one-dimensional. So pressure on this running offensive line to continue to prove to this coaching staff that put the pressure on our shoulders. Let us go out there and create some running lanes.
8 plays on this series. 6 have been running plays. Diggs again. Sneaks in there for the touchdown. Logan Diggs, his first touchdown in a Tiger uniform. And the Notre Dame transfer says, yep, this is why I came to Baton Rouge, to play in front of a big crowd like this.
I mean, look at the right side of the offensive line. The big freshman, Lance Hurd, getting his first opportunity to get in there and play some football. And, man, did he impress. Paving the way right there, knocking that line, the defense line, all the way to the left. And then from there, Logan Diggs, like you alluded to, getting his first touchdown as a Tiger.
To 10. Logan Diggs capping a 9-play, 80-yard scoring drive in 4:17.
Oh, the young running back, young in the Tiger uniform, finds a way to get in there. LSU extends the lead.
Logan Diggs scored 7 touchdowns in 2 years with the Irish. This is his first at LSU, and he had a great drive, Aaron.
Yeah, the explosion through the hole and the patience, and, man, showed us the ability to get through the spin cycle as well on that run. But I just love that where it's kind of sudden, and then burst right through the hole. Just got to keep your feet on the ground, big man, and then follow his young freshman right tackle, Lance Hurd, right into the end zone for his first career LSU touchdown. It's a good sign for this fan base. See, they can run the ball without number 5 having to handle that responsibility as well.
From the 5-yard line, C.J. Gidry. Transfer from Houston. It's just across the 20-yard line. Coming up next, the SEC football final crew will take you through the biggest stories of the day, break down all the games in the league and across the country, 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central, over on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Texas and Alabama, that's the big one tonight. That has gone to the half, and Texas has the lead at the half, 13-6.
Well, we got a fun one here in Baton Rouge. These offenses have come to play. Don't let the score fool you. Grambling's done a great job moving up and down the field. Been stopped in the red zone their last 2 drives. Had to settle for a make field goal and a miss field goal, but they're moving it.
Over 500 yards of combined offense for these two teams tonight. Little comebacker to Jones. Jones slips away, gets loose on the near sideline. I'll tell you, these wide receivers, they are athletic. They've got great hands. And, you know, Brian Kelly more than once said, hey, I'm a little worried about the athleticism of Grambling, especially on the outside.
Well, their quarterback's been deadly accurate, too. You throw that into the equation of a guy that's giving his talented receivers an opportunity to make plays, and you're seeing what happens.
Crowley, 121 yards passing and a touchdown. They'll run it. Chalk goes right up the middle. Floyd Chalk out of Mission Hills, California, had a touchdown last week. And now more flags come in after the play. And I don't know if Chalk threw a punch down there, perhaps. Grambling's been a little undisciplined at times. Yeah,
ooh,
that's a no-go. Jacoby and Guillory, the defensive tackle, took that one.
Unnecessary roughness, number 3 offense. Penalty's 15 yards. The down counts as 3rd down.
Well, for LSU fans in the stadium, they're yelling, be ready for the run. Let's see if LSU has learned their lessons, because Grambling is not afraid, even in a 3rd and 17 situation, to pop off a run. And I mean, I don't blame him. When you look up there and see 4 that's played in the defensive end position and Harold Perkins, I'm like, I don't know if I want my quarterback taking a deep drop either.
Keelan Elder comes in for Floyd Chalk. We might not see him for a while, especially as well as the other running backs have been doing. This is Tylon Williams. That's a 1st down reception across the 25-yard line. Excuse me, got back to the original line of scrimmage and a couple of yards more. Pardon me, it's going to be 4th down. They're going to have to punt.
And almost popped it off right there. Great job. It's a screen to the receiver. So the 3 receivers to the front side are all going to block man on man, and they're hoping the receiver coming from the left catches it and just follows those guys up. A great open field tackle. And for LSU, first time getting off the field, 3 and out.
So Jimmy Isles coming on to punt for the first time, left-footed Australian. Greg Clayton, the UTSA transfer, back to return. Of course, punt return was a tough discipline last week in Orlando. This is going to take a Grambling roll to the 30-yard line. 43-yard punt, no return. LSU has it when we come back. (28-10), 5:51 before half. LSU leading Grambling. The SEC Network's newest show, Read and React, every Monday night, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Cole Kublik and Roman Harper hosting, and we're going to take a look at the biggest college football plays, players, and games from this weekend. I'm sure they're going to be talking about Colorado and all the big games in the SEC. Ole Miss getting a win down the road in New Orleans earlier today. You know, what didn't come easy for Lane Kiffin's group. Jaden Daniels right down the middle for Lacing. Kyron Lacing on his feet inside the 35-yard line.
Life is good for a quarterback when you got lots of time in the pocket. Once again, a shell coverage of 2 high safeties, middle of the field, wide open. Just got to hold on to pigskin right there for Lacey, but Daniels throwing it with some confidence down the field.
Yeah, Nori Johnson, the safety, popped that loose, but Lacey was able to recover. They go back to the ground, and Josh Williams, the senior out of Houston, going straight ahead inside the 25-yard line for a gain of 8. LSU has scored on every possession. This is their 5th possession of the night. They've got 4 touchdown drives.
And great job right there by big number 66, Will Campbell, coming around on the tackle trap, power play. And man, they just could not say enough good things about his development. They said, remember back in spring when I had their spring game, they said if we could have an entire football team made up of Will Campbells, we would win every single game. That's what his character level is, what he means to LSU.
He was the #1 player in Louisiana a couple of years ago. 5-star recruit, now seasoned vet. Penalty flag on the outside. They hit Malik Neighbors. He dives ahead for what looks to be a first down, but we'll see if it's coming back. Penalties for the Lions' share tonight, Aaron, have been going against Grambling.
Illegal formation. 5 players in the backfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
So there's one against LSU.
Once again, to be picky on Jaden, that's the second time we've seen these bubble screens be behind the receivers. And yeah, man, they're talented enough, and Malik showed us he can kind of do a little twirl and still be able to get the first down even though it's coming back. But these are some of the throws that he's going to need to continue to work on. Put the ball in front of the receivers, 1 foot in front. Let him catch it in stride.
That was the first penalty. Second penalty, excuse me, against LSU. Here's Williams again. Gets his helmet scuffed up another time. It's a 4-yard gain for the running back. Marquise Sykes and Jacoby Scott combined on the stop. This will be 3rd down.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a lot of, obviously we knew we were going to see Logan Diggs, #3, but we've seen Caleb Jackson very sparingly in this game. Excited to see what the true freshman can do. But like you alluded to, it's a deep running back group, and obviously all those guys want to get their touches.
Stay with Williams, and that's going to be a first down. Talked about him being a walk-on, waited his turn, and then ended up being the #1 running back for LSU a season ago. And no one saw that coming before the year, but he was critical to them winning the SEC West.
Oh, he was big time, and when his opportunity came, he made the most of it. That's the key. I mean, this roster was completely made over last year. A lot of guys trying to earn positions, trying to impress the new coaching staff, and he was one of them that did that from day one.
Tight end in motion. That was Mark Way. Now Daniels in trouble, and he's going to be dragged down from behind. Robert Wilson, the nickelback out of Tallahassee, getting in there to bring Daniels down. It's just a 1-yard gain.
Oh, a great job on the back end. I mean, good protection. And he's going one-on-one with the man Josh Williams we were just raving about, and was able to give him enough of a thump and then get off of him to take Jaden down.
Williams again, right up the middle, and dives for a first down at the 10-yard line. Josh Williams, he's the feature back on this series, and here we go again. First down and goal to go from the 10. They're going to play fast, but then Grambling wants a timeout.
3rd and final timeout, Grambling.
With 2:43 to go here before halftime. Back in Baton Rouge, LSU with the lead and looking for more. Coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of the LSU Tiger Band on SEC Network Plus. The Golden Band from Tigerland, ready to perform for the first time in front of the home crowd here in 2023. LSU knocking on the door again, looking for their 5th touchdown drive. Josh Williams in the backfield with Jaden Daniels, who's got 3 touchdown passes tonight. This could be another one to Aaron Anderson. Anderson trying to cut the corner, and Grambling's not going to let him do it. We saw that work earlier for Malik Neighbors, but Anderson, the Alabama transfer, who's got some speed, just couldn't get around the edge.
Yeah, and Brian Kelly told us, #1, we have to find a way to just force feed him the football. He's just too good of an athlete not to get his touches, and that's one way to do it. Obviously, just a little jet sweep, flip up there, and see if he can make someone miss in the open field.
Lewis Matthews on the tackle, a guy they think if he were taller would have NFL written all over him. As Malik Neighbors goes to the end zone, And Daniels can't hook up with him. Chris Dagry, the best cover corner in the Grambling secondary, was right there. So Jaden Daniels just about at a 200-yard night passing the football. Ninth play of this drive coming up. All in all, how would you say he has done so far?
I think he's been great. A couple of those bubble screens that we brought up have just been a little bit behind the receiver, but other than that, complete command. And
here's Daniels again, surveying. He's going to go to the back of the end zone for Neighbors, who was juggled, but he held on. No, that was Thomas. Thomas got it for the 10-yard touchdown grab right under the goalpost.
And Jaden was just a hair late on this too, but makes up for it by throwing an absolute dart in the back of the end zone. You're going to have a double post concept. Inside receiver takes the safety, and then you have the big post over top from Brian Thomas. Perfectly thrown ball. When we say back of the end zone, you throw it high, about 10 yards in the air. It'll naturally come down, let the receiver jump up and get it, 10 feet, excuse me, in the air. Let the receiver jump up and get it. And then by the goal line, you throw it low at their feet, let them go down and get it.
Damian Ramos tacks on the extra point as a flag is down on the PAT. That is his second touchdown catch for Brian Thomas. Again, he had some really good moments in Orlando, but also had that red zone drop. But he's looked really good tonight.
No, he's looked really good tonight. Just a big receiver at 6'4", someone that you want running those goal line routes in the back of the end zone, because you can trust once again to throw it up there near the crossbar, and that big frame's going to be able to go up there and snag it. And LSU, 5 drives, 5 touchdowns. All drives of 69 yards or more. Incorporating the run game, 147 yards rushing, and then Jaden right now, 206 yards passing. It's been not near perfection. It has been perfection on offense.
Yeah, pocket patience that you talked about, such a big key for him this year. He's looked very comfortable tonight. 2 minutes to go in the half. And it's going to be interesting. Halftime is going to be a little shorter for LSU here tonight. That was a big topic, as this one is going to be a touchback. Going to be a big topic during the week, because Brian Kelly did not like how LSU came out for their third quarter in Orlando. Of course, they got outscored 31-7 in the second half. They're going to come out a little earlier after halftime.
Get warmed up, get some more energy, get some music pumping in the locker room too. Just find a way to change up the normal routine. You know, they were in it, and if you go back and watch the tape, man, they were at times, if the majority of that first half, the better team versus Florida State, but just came out so flat in the second half. So guess what? We're gonna mix it up a little bit at halftime, see if we get some more energy pumping through that locker room.
Floyd Chalk back on the field for the first time since that unsportsmanlike penalty. Crowley is complete to Josh Quiet, the tight end, who's very good. He has been quiet tonight. Hasn't been real involved in this offense so far. The Baton Rouge native.
First charge timeout. LSU.
We'll call a timeout here. They've got 2 remaining.
Yeah, Brian Kelly doing the duty that lies nearest right there, making sure his offense has an opportunity to get hopefully a 2-minute drive to be able to get that practice in for Jaden is valuable early on this season. So he's going to burn those 3 timeouts if he can. Allow his quarterback, who's been red hot in this game, to go out there and do his thing.
There's Brian Kelly. We were talking with Brian about winning the Eddie Robinson National Coach of the Year award back in 2012 at Notre Dame. It's one of the proudest moments of his career. Of course, that's when he led the Irish to the national runner-up. Talked a lot about Eddie Robinson this week and how much he respects the Grambling program and how important this game is for the state of Louisiana. 2nd down and 10 out of the timeout. Floyd Chalk. And strong second effort to get across the 35 to the 37-yard line. He just never stops. He's not very big, 5'9", 185, but powerful legs.
Yeah, they've been themselves having a heck of a first half, over 100 yards rushing for this offense, and now they're going to be the aggressors.
Crowley. Oh. J.R. Waters, who had the touchdown grab on the first possession for Grambling, looked right, ball was behind him. And you can see Crowley disappointed with the way that route was run.
I'd say the big disappointment for LSU here in the first half has been that rushing defense. And Grambling State right now 127 yards rushing, 9.8 average. Almost getting a first down every time they touch the ball from the running backs.
Trying to get to the outside. That was chalk again. Greg Brooks having none of it. And timeout called by LSU. Their second. Greg Brooks, the Arkansas transfer, second year here in Baton Rouge, makes a nice play to bring up third down. Eddie Robinson, of course, Grambling coach from 1941 to 1997. 408 wins, 17 SWAC titles, 9 black national championships. Went to McKinley High School right here in town. And said it at the top of the broadcast there, and he would have absolutely loved to play LSU back when he was running the program. Never happened.
And it's just crazy. This is the first time. Just amazing. These two programs in this state. This being the first time they meet.
Now Hugh Jackson, in his second year at Grambling. Spent a lot of years in the NFL. Happy to be in the college ranks. Minute and a half to go, first half. 3rd and 10. Grambling 2 for 5 on third down tonight. Crowley being pressured. Swinson chasing after him. Thrown deep into the secondary. It lands incomplete. A one-on-one battle there between Ashton Stamps, the freshman corner, and the receiver Lyndon Rash.
And Ashton, the speedster, actually got beat on that one. Was able to recover with the underthrown ball. And that's someone, too, that they're excited about. A lot of freshmen going to get an opportunity to play in this game tonight. And Ashton, very competitive. This coaching staff let us know. Came to camp 3 times. You know, the summer camps with all the freshmen, came 3 times, working his way to finally get a scholarship.
Yeah, that's perseverance. He finally got noticed. Jimmy Isles comes out to punt for the second time in the half for Grambling, and it's a good kick. It's going to back off Greg Clayton. Clayton will field it on a fair catch at the 15-yard line. 48-yard punt for Isles. So LSU will have it with 1 minute and 16 seconds to go before half and 1 timeout in their pocket. Next Saturday's week 3 already, and the SEC Network has you covered. Missouri is going to host number 15 K-State. Texas A&M, they're going to try to rebound against Monroe. Auburn at home against Samford. And Ole Miss also coming off a loss, or coming off a win, I should say, against Tulane, will take on Georgia Tech. That's next Saturday. Georgia Tech and Ole Miss, 7:30 Eastern in the primetime window. That's going to be a good game.
Yep.
All right, so what do you expect here from LSU?
Oh, full throttle. You got 1 timeout, minute 16, veteran quarterback, great receivers. You've been able to push the ball down the field. We got to put some more points on the board.
Daniels has all kinds of time, taking a deep shot. And throws it incomplete, looking for Hilton. Trent Henry. May have been called for PI here.
Pass interference, number 0, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
A lot of penalties for Grambling tonight.
A lot of penalties. And listen, when you're outmatched, and especially with the speed and athleticism of these receivers, sometimes the only thing you could do, besides give up the explosive play, is to grab a little jersey. And right now, with this quarters coverage, these post routes have just been money for LSU throughout the ball game tonight.
First down, Daniels has a man, incomplete, just out of the reach of Neighbors, who had a step and a half on the defender. There's nobody in front of him. He might have taken it all the way to the house.
Yeah, and finally, this defense actually went to a single high coverage, and Neighbors, who moved to the slot, had that inside fade, and like you alluded to, Clay, you put it on his chest right there. He hits one-on-one with him in the safety in the open field.
Daniels over 200 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Trying to get one here in under a minute. Drops it off short to Logan Diggs. Good run out to midfield. And now Diggs wants a penalty flag. But there is none thrown. It's a 17-yard run for Diggs. He gets out of bounds to stop the clock. 55 seconds to go in the half.
And nice mature play right there from Jaden. He wants to work front side, doesn't like it. Immediately finds his back and gets the first down.
LSU 5 for 5 on scoring drives. Daniels slips in the backfield, regains his footing, and now sprints to the near sideline. He'll make something out of nothing. A gain of 7. Again gets out of bounds. 47 seconds to go in the half.
And so get that one timeout for the Tigers that you want to save just in case you need it for a field goal as time's going down before halftime. Remember, new college rules, clock does not stop besides under 2 minutes before halftime and end of game. So first down will stop the clock. Here the rest of this drive.
Diggs in motion to the left. Daniels looking that way. Jaden comes across, juggled, and Thomas, I think, hung on for the first down, and that will stop the clock, as you just alluded to, Aaron, with 39 seconds to go. So they can move the chains here. 1st and 10, LSU on the move. And now they'll spike it to preserve that timeout.
And give the receivers who just run some deep routes the ability to rotate in and out as well right now. See some tired legs. They've done a lot of work in this game, but once again, taking advantage of the coverage, corner routes, post routes, the inside fades when they do get single high. You know, they have such a great mismatch when it comes to athleticism.
The helmet coming off. The play was already dead. The clock was stopped. Second down.
Josh Williams checks in the backfield to the right of Daniels. 33 seconds to go here in the quarter. Pimpton in motion, the tight end. Daniels steps up and threw it behind Hilton. They connected for a touchdown earlier in the half. Trent Henry, the corner, good coverage there for number 0.
Man, you see the receiver right there. Chris Hilton starts fading on the dagger route, allows the DB to undercut him. I mean, you have to have sharp angles, and we talked about it with Malik Neighbors and how he was going to make sure he had a better game today with that. As soon as you start drifting, though, on those dagger routes, makes it a harder angle for the quarterback to throw, and obviously the DB can undercut it.
Daniels slings it, caught by Neighbors. He's going to cut it back. Had a block for a moment, gets away from a tackler and down to the 26-yard line. 15 yards, clock will stop so they can move the chains. LSU trying to keep that timeout preserved as long as they can. They'll spike it here, 16 seconds to go in the half. They're already within Ramos' field goal range, but they're thinking touchdown now.
Yeah, of course. I mean, how good is number 8, though? I mean, my goodness, get him the ball in the open field, and it just looks effortless from him. It's just so smooth, and the suddenness from when he does want to be able to put that foot in the ground and then explode forward.
He'll tell you his routes weren't sharp last week, Aaron. He spent a lot of time on that this past week in practice. 2nd and 10, clock winding down. Throw caught. Thomas down to the 3-yard line. Boy, what a half for Brian Thomas. Timeout. There it is. First down, goal to go. LSU. Thomas shaken up with 7 seconds left to go in the half.
And give big props to this offensive line. I mean, just look at Jaden. He's working left. Hitch. He even goes to the running back, comes back, and then finds the deep dagger out, puts it right on the receiver's chest. This offensive line just dominating the game here in the first half. Along with number 11, Brian Thomas had himself a ball game.
6 catches, 79 yards, couple of touchdowns. Thomas able to get to the sideline under his own power. Remember, his night didn't start out very well. He had a drop early, but he has collected a pretty good first half. Well, this LSU offense, so many things that they wanted to work through tonight because the schedule is daunting the next 5 weeks.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier as you get ready to go into SEC play in the SEC West, which is an absolute gauntlet. I mean, at Mississippi State the following week, or next week, Arkansas at Ole Miss, Missouri, Auburn. Now I want to say everyone's circling that big game, November 4th. They're in Tuscaloosa.
This will be the 10th play of the drive.
And for Jaden, can't hold on to the ball long. This needs to be a quick read. Ball has to be thrown in the end zone.
That's what he does to the end zone for Lacey. Got it. Touchdown. Kyron Lacey. That's exactly what the doctor ordered there for LSU in that situation.
Ball up and out right now. Put on an absolute line from Jaden to Lacey in the corner. We call it a pick route, but we don't even want to use the word pick because then defenders get mad. But DB, it gets completely lost trying to pass off the switch of the receivers. Heads turn towards the quarterback, and when that head's turned, you can just let it rip as a quarterback.
Third catch for Lacey, his first touchdown tonight. 5 touchdown passes here in the first half for Jaden Daniels as Ramos makes it 42-10. Career high for touchdown passes for Jaden Daniels.
DB's head's turn, gets lost, and Jaden looks like he's a man on a mission here in the first half. Surgical throwing the football.
Well, we know he can run. Sometimes the question is, does he hang in the pocket long enough? Does he get happy feet too often? Yep. None of that here in the first half. He has used a bevy of receivers.
What helps in the offensive line is dominating. I mean, there's no... For him right now, he feels as comfortable as playing 7-on-7 at the moment with, let's not forget, they've made a couple changes up front, or one big change moving Lance Hurd, number 53, to right tackle, and then Emory Jones into right guard, and seems to have been working out here in the second quarter.
Dybert's going to squib it. It's going to be touched at the 22-yard line, and that's going to take us to the half. LSU, 423 yards of offense.
End of the second quarter.
In the first half hour, Daniels a career high 5 touchdown passes, 269 yards through the air for their senior quarterback out of San Bernardino. But now a sense of urgency is what LSU fans want to see in the third quarter, even with a big lead. First half in the books in Baton Rouge in this first ever meeting between LSU and Grambling, 42-10 at the half. Ready to go with the second half here in Death Valley, 42-10 LSU. He's here on Murray on Clay Matvick. Welcome back on this Louisiana Saturday night. Maybe some questions still remain with the defense, but I think the offense couldn't have performed any better. 6 possessions, 6 touchdowns.
No, it was perfection from the offense, and the offensive line is where it really starts. And I want to see the running game get going as well. We saw that, but Jaden Daniels was magnificent in the first half, really on point. The accuracy was tremendous. The ability to push the ball vertically down the field was impressive to see. Given his big, talented receivers the opportunity to go make plays down the field. Obviously some busted coverage from Grambling State, but man, his footwork was perfect. The decision-making was great, and then obviously he does what he does. When there's nothing there, his athleticism to get them out of trouble is top-notch across the country. But what we want to see is him pushing the ball vertically down the field, 20-plus yards, and he's been deadly accurate given that time in the pocket from his offensive line here tonight.
And 8 plays passing downfield to 15 yards or more in that first half, and that's exactly what Mike Denbrock in this offensive side really needed to see tonight from Jaden. He did that. You know, I also thought that the running game at times really started to show traction. We saw Logan Diggs be the feature back in a series. We have seen Josh Williams carry quite a bit here tonight, as you see the numbers from the first half. Now, defensively, LSU gave up points on the first 2 Grambling possessions, and sometimes early on in that first half, Grambling was running through huge holes.
Yep.
You remember going back to the Florida State game, the last 5 possessions for Florida State, they scored on all of them. And then the first 2, they gave up scores tonight. So there's some questions still remaining, I think, with the LSU defense. But again, offensively, looking pretty good for the Tigers.
Offense was perfect. Yeah, I need to see more physicality from that front 7 of the LSU defense, being able to stop the run, especially in 3rd and long situations, where you have to, you want to get after the quarterback, but you also have to stay in your rush lanes in case the team does want to run the football. They've just been bitten the butt a couple times with some long gainers on some 3rd and long situations. Now, obviously been beat as well on some shot plays down the field. Good coverage, just a better throw by Grambling State.
Grambling's going to start at the 25-yard line. Miles Crawley led scoring drives on the first 2 Grambling State possessions. Was really sharp early, over 100 yards passing in this ball game, and a touchdown. There you see the offensive coordinator, Tony Hull. Yeah, I don't know how many plays he scripts to start a ball game, but you know what he was drawing up early was really working.
Yeah, it was working, and then it was working because his quarterback Crawley was accurate with the football and decisive with his decisions, and gave his athletic receivers opportunity to win some one-on-ones.
Floyd Chalk in the backfield to start. 5 carries, 21 yards in the first half for Chalk. He's going to catch it here. And that's sealed up pretty quickly. He'll spin ahead for a couple of yards. Mason Smith, the defensive tackle in his first game in over a year, coming back from a torn left ACL and a high ankle. He makes the tackle. He's been moving around pretty well tonight. Yeah, he looks great. You know, had a ankle injury from spring, and they're going to continue to ease him into this season. So just you think about what he could have done last year, what he could have done last week versus FSU, and we hit on what needs to be better. It's the run defense. The more he's in game shape, the more this defense is going to continue to perform at a high level. He's just too talented. Crowley rolling out and throws a dart downfield, and that was caught. Great catch by Rash, the senior from here in Baton Rouge. And that's going to be a first down out to the 35-yard line. I mean, it's been impressive to see Crowley a couple times rolling to his left with pressure, throwing the ball with, I mean, incredible accuracy. That right foot is in for the catch. You can see Tony Hull saying, yeah, he got it. That's a catch. Right in front of the Grambling bench. You see, they moved the chains. It's a first down. First down. Grambling from the 35-yard line. Flipped out to the far side this time, and Antonio Jones makes the catch. Of course, the big question, Aaron, especially from the fans for LSU about the defense, where was Harold Perkins last week, and is he going to move around more tonight? Have you seen that? Yeah, we've seen him. We've definitely seen him more from a rush end perspective. Move around a little bit, still playing that outside linebacker nickel spot position, but definitely more of kind of what he does best, see ball, go get ball. Crowley being chased. And that's going to be incomplete. There's number 4. Harold Perkins showing he can pass defend too. Yeah, I mean, he's playing in space a little bit. It allows you, with a guy like him, to stay essentially in your base defense. So you don't need to bring a nickel. You can keep another linebacker who's athletic enough to play in space from that spot to the field. But in certain packages, which looks like right now, you're going to allow him to just get after the quarterback from that defensive end position. Freshman All-American last year, Harold Perkins Jr. Still getting used to him wearing number 4. He was number 40 last year and made the big splash in his rookie campaign. Here's a 3rd down and 4. Grambling 2 for 6 tonight on 3rd downs. Crowley being chased, rolling across his body, got it downfield. It's juggled, and Who's got it? It looks like LSU does. Greg Penn, the linebacker, with the takeaway.
Come on, LSU
turnover.
Get up and cheer. You just had an interception. And once again, another accurate throw from Crawley, rolling to his left with pressure, puts it right on the receiver. You got to come up with that. And then tip drill time. Somehow, I think it lands on his lap, cradles it between his belly and his thighs. It doesn't look like from that angle the ball hit the ground at all. And a great catch from Greg Penn. See this offense the ball here early in the third quarter.
We're taking a look at it. We'll see if we're going to get an official review. As of right now, it doesn't appear so. Garrett Nussmeier, the backup quarterback for LSU, is on the field ready to take over this offense as Jaden Daniels has had a career-high night, 5 touchdown passes. And they wanted to get a good look at Garrett Nussmeier.
The ruling on the field of an interception is under further review.
Yeah, they are going to look at it a little bit further. Make sure that Penn had indeed intercepted that football.
Well, from this angle, it looked pretty good. Have to see some more angles on it. Kind of body shielded it from the camera there. This will give us a good shot. I think he kind of cradles it and stays in his belly, maybe between his legs as well.
I think so.
Should be a pretty easy decision. Once again, what's called an interception on the field. Don't see anything that tells me otherwise than a great play from number 30.
That's great effort, too, from this LSU defense, especially early on in the third quarter. Remember what the problem was in the second half last week? Brian Kelly said, I just absolutely was disappointed with how this team came out for the second half last week. Well, that's a good start here tonight.
It's a great start here. And then that play right there. Make some plays when they present them to you. And you're going against a quarterback that's playing extremely well, too. I mean, let's give Miles Crawley some credit. Like, he's put some footballs in positions where the coverage is there. It's just a better pass in a spot where his receivers are able to make, 50-50 opportunity go their way.
I don't think they're going to find evidence to overturn this. I think the call on the field is going to stand. There's one more look. It's called an interception on the field. You just can't tell if it touched the turf from that angle and the other one either. I just think that this is going to stand. And if it does, it's the first turnover of the game for either side. And Garrett Nussmeier is poised to get his first work of the night at quarterback for LSU.
Maybe these are the ones I'm just like, man, we complain about games being so long. Like, there's nothing that you are looking at right now that is showing you that the ball hit the ground. Like, let's just call the play and move on. Like, these are the ones that, frustrate fans at home, and I'm with you. It's pretty definitive. He made a heck of a play.
That'll be the first interception for Miles Crawley. Now, in his defense, it was tipped, should have been caught. And J.R. Waters made an amazing catch on a touchdown grab in the first quarter. Let that one get away. Again, see nothing there that will overturn the call on the field.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. Maybe they got a different angle than us. I don't know. It looks...
It's an interception.
Strong adductors to squeeze that ball in.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, LSU.
So LSU will have it at their own 46-yard line after the takeaway by Greg Penn III, junior out of Baltimore, Maryland. Now Brian Kelly chewing on the official. I'm not exactly sure what for. Maybe because it took so long. I think that's indeed his beef, Aaron.
I think it is too. I mean, let's go. Come on, see it enough. Make a decision. Let's play football.
Garrett Nussmeier, the sophomore out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Third year as the primary backup. Getting his first reps tonight. Finds a wide open man, caught at the 33. Malik Neighbors still on his feet, and now gang tackled at the 26-yard line. 29 yards on the first pass for Nussmeier.
Just a beautifully thrown football. Once again, the scissors concept, post, and then the inside corner route by Malik Neighbors, and tons of space, tons of time. And Nussmeier, with that rocket arm that he has, gets to show it off early on.
6'2", 205. He'll hand it off this time. This is Diggs. Finds a big hole up the middle and bangs his way inside the 5-yard line. Garrett Nussmeier running the offense and running it efficiently through the air, and now on the ground, handing it off here to Diggs for another big run.
I don't know where the high step was. Maybe feeling a little pressure at his feet, but man, 3 when he's in the game here tonight has looked energized.
And Diggs stays in. 10 carries, over 100 yards for Diggs. Oh, he's going to be hit in the backfield. Nowhere to go that time as Josh Darling, the weak side linebacker, shot in to make the tackle. Diggs already with a touchdown run here tonight. His first in an LSU uniform. Here's Garrett Nussmeier. Stepped in for an injured Daniels last year in the SEC title game. Threw for almost 300 yards. A couple of touchdowns in that loss to Georgia. Even though it was a loss, came in a tough situation, played pretty well.
Played extremely well. And his ability to push the ball vertically down the field, they know what he can do. It's about just playing within the system for him, not trying to do too much.
Logan Diggs smelling the end zone, and he's going to be just short. Down to the 1-yard line as Marquise Sykes keeps him out of the end zone. Of course, Garrett Nussmeier, the son of former NFL quarterback Doug Nussmeier, now the coaching staff with the Chargers. Oh, Diggs hitting the backfield, reaches out for the goal line. Did he get in? You're going to say no. I'll say he was down just shy.
And great penetration from this defense. Shooing the gaps. Number 97 right there, Lane Lewis, able to get skinny to get some traction in the backfield, and Diggs did just enough to stay up. And yeah, I think he's right there on that 1-inch yard line.
So here's 4th down, and they failed 3 times on 4th down last week. They're trying to sneak it in with Nussmeier, and they got it. Touchdown. Garrett Nussmeier runs this offense pretty smoothly on the opening series of the second half.
Oh, just keeps it going for this offense, who scored every single time they've touched the football. We'll see what the penalty is. So it seemed to be after the play.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 43 defense. That penalty will be enforced on the try, on the kickoff. Resulting plays a touchdown.
7th touchdown tonight for LSU. This one 6 plays, 54 yards, 259. As Nussmeier scores his first of the year. I mean, it's always nice to know that you've got a quality backup ready to come in, and as physical as the SEC is, you never know when you're going to need a guy like Garrett Nussmeier.
No, I would say probably the best backup quarterback in America. shown us on film last year. I know there's a lot of confidence talking to the staff, what he can do.
Offside, number 13 defense. Penalties declined, tries good. Timeout.
All right, Garrett Nussmeier comes in. No drop off with number 13. LSU scores again.
Who says number 13 is unlucky? Garrett Nussmeier, backup quarterback for LSU, leading a scoring drive to make it 49-10. I mean, this one is right on the screws to Malik Neighbors. Logan Diggs also having a really good night in the backfield. I've been impressed with number 3.
Yeah, for LSU, they're kind of sitting back after this game and even during this game right now saying, man, we got RB1 right now, the Notre Dame transfer. And I think you brought this up last drive, man, to have a reliable backup like Garrett Nussmeier in this conference, which is so physical, is an absolute must.
Because of the penalty, Dybert kicking off from midfield. He's going to squib it. Takes a hop, fielded at the 6-yard line, and oh my, big hit. With Terrence Welch coming down and landing a punch.
Beautifully executed squib kick down the field, and
it was Javon Robinson who had no chance on the return. So Julian Calvez is going to come in at quarterback for Grambling. He was the starter most of last year, took over midway through the season. And Hugh Jackson told us it was a neck-and-neck battle between him and Crawley in camp. Crawley ultimately won the position. And now Calvez handing off here to Keelan Elder. He's going to pick up a handful.
Interesting decision here, because I thought Miles Crawley was playing a great game. I mean, I think a really good game, honestly. I thought he was accurate with the football. That interception was not on him on that last possession. Put it exactly where you need to put it. I've been really impressed, and you know, we'll see what Calvez can come in here and do, lead this offense in the second half. I would just like to continue to build Miles Crawley's confidence and get him more reps in this system as you look to hopefully get your first win next weekend.
False start, number 71, offense. Half the distance to the goal, still second down.
Their penalty on Melvin Priestley. He's had a couple tonight. There's Miles Crawley. Maybe he's done for the night. 14 of 25. 148, a touchdown. You talked about that interception that was tipped. And again, I really enjoyed the way he came out again tonight. Much like he did against Hampton in the Brick City Classic. Was very accurate to start the game. Led 2 scoring drives to start the night for Grambling. From the end zone, Calvez has it batted down. Ovi Agofu, the jackback. 3 years at Notre Dame. 2 at Texas, now wearing an LSU uniform.
Yeah, anticipating them being backed up. Ball's going to come out quick. Great job getting that initial burst and then elevating to knock the football down. Third and long situation. You're backed up. It's a little loud in here. The band's going. I expect some sort of screen or draw or handoff to the running back just to buy your punter some room. See if you can squeak out another one like you did in the first half.
Now timeout, Grambling.
First
And we'll take it with him.
Grambling.
8:27 to go in the third. LSU's got Grambling backed up. (49-10). 8:27 to go, third quarter. Thursday, our featured soccer matchup. Number 12, Alabama hosting Georgia in Tuscaloosa. Tide haven't lost at home since 2021. Coverage kicks at 7 Eastern, 6 Central on the SEC network. So this LSU defense struggled in the second half last week. So far, so good here in the second half tonight. Had a takeaway on Grambling's first possession. Now Grambling stayed backed up deep in their own territory in a 3rd and 14 coming up.
Dangerous spot. Dangerous. Run screen. Just buy a little time.
Calvez, the backup quarterback, throws it to the outside, and that is going to be incomplete. Broken up nicely by Zy Alexander.
Pretty good throw right there from number 4, too. He got the ball. He knew he needed to hit that back step and let it rip. And he put it right where it needed to be on the sideline. Gave his receiver an opportunity to make a catch. Great job defensively knocking that one out there. And you're going to give Garrett Nussmeier, once again, great field position to start his second drive off.
And, of course, punt returns have been an odyssey for LSU so far this season. This is Greg Clayton, ready to give LSU great field position. Isles gets it away. Low kick. Clayton has a lot of room. Goes to the far sideline, coming up the hash marks to the middle of the field and dives inside the 30-yard line. That's a good return.
I mean, and just an absolute line drive of a punt. When you're in punt protection, just asking for a pretty good return, which LSU got right there.
And another Grambling player is down on the field. It's been a tough night for the Grambling sideline. They've had a lot of players helped off the field in this football game. Injury timeout, 8:08 to go in the third. Back in a moment. Somber mood now here in Baton Rouge. Jaquavis Richmond, redshirt sophomore linebacker who was injured on special teams moments ago. Everyone has taken a knee who's in a uniform tonight, and the crowd has gone completely silent here. Everyone hoping and praying that young Jaquavis Richmond's going to be okay. The card is out, and it appears that they are ready to put him on a stretcher.
Yeah, scary moment. Obviously, just prayers up for him, and everything's okay down there. And we see all precautions being taken right now by medical staffs on both sides.
We'll take a break. We hope to get an update soon. Good news to report. Sophomore linebacker Jaquavis Richmond of Grambling, who was injured on that special teams play moments ago, gave us the thumbs up. His eyes are open. He was smiling to Hugh Jackson, who came over. The entire team surrounded him just a little bit ago, and it appears that, you know, the worst isn't going to happen here tonight.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But definitely everyone pray for that young man as he gets carted off back into the locker room. Eyes open, thumbs up. Definitely good initial signs, though.
Yes. You can see Hugh Jackson pointing. Yep, everybody, it's going to be okay. At least we hope so. Garrett Nussmeier and LSU's offense with a 1st and 10. Great field position after the punt return by Clayton. Caleb Jackson.
Well, I know
backfield, but he got it into the hands of Aaron Anderson there.
Well, I know the #1 throw that these quarterbacks are going to be working on come Monday, Tuesday is all these bubble screens. We've seen 3 of them now, all behind the receiver. They're having to turn around to make the catch. And listen, it's not easy, but you can drill it pretty good of making sure that you figure out a way to get that ball in front of the receiver so he doesn't have to fall down when he makes the catch.
It's been a good night for the passing game for LSU. They're going to stick it in the belly of Josh Williams. Williams drags. Actually, that's Caleb Jackson. Caleb Jackson, the big explosive true freshman who gets it for a gain of 16.
Yeah, and I thought we'd see a little bit more from Caleb Jackson earlier in this ball game. Kind of the anticipation was him and Logan Diggs will be getting significant reps, and now it's the freshman's opportunity here in the second half to make the most of those.
He'll pile ahead again. You talked about it, Aaron. He had a great fall camp. He was a standout at Liberty Magnet here in Baton Rouge. Was injured his senior year of high school, but still, he ran for over 2,000 yards, 29 touchdowns as a junior. That's what got him noticed. That's one of the main reasons he's at LSU. 2nd down and 7. Aaron Nussmeier led a scoring drive on his first series. Jackson again looking for room on the right side. He'll get it to the 10. Webster makes the stop.
Well, and talking with Coach Denbrock yesterday, you know, when he talked about this young man and when he talked about Logan Diggs, explosiveness, I think that's what they're searching for from this running back group. Who can create explosive plays, not 2 or 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but can break a tackle. We saw Logan Diggs with some of the spin moves earlier in this game.
Jackson again. He's met at the line of scrimmage and pulled back by Kuzar, the nose tackle.
Great
that was
defense.
A great play.
Yeah, great defense there from Grambling State.
They've got some big guys up front. Kuzar, 6'3", almost 300. 4th down and 2. They're going to go for it.
All right, now you got a good numbers in the box. 6 for 6. 6 blockers for 6 defensive players.
LSU scored a touchdown on 4th down earlier. And that's going to be a 1st down to the 5. Jackson again. You got 8 scholarship running backs, and all of them are likely to play when it's all said and done.
Which is crazy, which is great. You know, you love being able to rotate, keep guys healthy, especially as you get into SEC play, which is going to be an absolute gauntlet. You get John Emery back next week to throw into that rotation as well. But you still need that 1-2 punch that you can rely on game in and game out.
Tight end Pimpton goes in motion. They go back to Jackson. Jackson angles his way into the end zone from 5 yards out. First touchdown for Caleb Jackson as an LSU Tiger.
Get to see what this freshman's all about this drive. It was the Caleb Jackson show, and little oop-de-doop right there, make a guy miss. And then finds that hole, finds that crease to get in the end zone for his first touchdown.
You saw one of the linemen out in front of him, Lance Hurd, who's also a freshman and having a good night. 7 plays, 29 yards, 321 on this scoring drive. As Ramos comes in for another extra point. So LSU's had 8 possessions tonight. They've got 8 touchdowns. Not too shabby.
Running back by committee, what you need in this league. And man, that was smooth. Just to be able to get the handoff while keeping your eyes up, to see the defender running free right in the hole. Make a quick move, get north and south. That's a good feeling to get that first touchdown.
Hey, if you want to help people affected by Hurricane Idalia, donate at redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover. Folks in this part of the country know how to respond to hurricanes, that's for sure. So LSU on opening night here in Baton Rouge has put up 56 points. Offense has not been an issue at times early in this game. Some defensive setbacks, you might say. But Grambling hasn't scored since that field goal drive, their second possession late in the first quarter. Leaves it short of the end zone again. Coming back toward the middle of the field. This is Joshua Johnson. It's going to be another fairly long field for Grambling. It's their start at the 19. We'll see who comes out at quarterback.
Special teams has been special for LSU, especially the kickoff. Those guys are flying down the field throughout this game. this, when you get to the spot LSU was, when you win the West, obviously, just like we talked about with Jaden, beginning of the game, like everyone's bar has been risen. Like you get critiqued for the littlest things, and that's why, Coach Kelly's so hard on them, and we've been a little bit hard at times about this defense because there is an expectation now of year 2 under Coach Kelly, all the talent back, all the guys you got in the portal. You should be seeing this team taking that next step.
It's going to be a Grambling false start.
Number 71, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I think that's the 3rd penalty on number 71, Melvin Priestley. And he's their best offensive lineman. Grambling's going to be home against Florida Memorial next week, their first home game. This one shot out to the far sideline by Calvez. The backup quarterback gets it to Jones. Jones, the sophomore, makes the grab, moves it ahead, close to the 25. LSU's defense has got some different personnel in there too now. There's another set of flags raining in.
Right now, too, you're worried about new quarterback, new cadence. That throws an offensive line off, too, when you're hearing one guy for one half.
Start, number 54 and 84 offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That's why whenever you're the backup quarterback, you have to learn the rhythm of the starting quarterback because these are the problems you have when you get a backup that comes in there and the offensive line gets used to some sort of cadence with QB1, and if QB2 can't duplicate that, you're going to have some problems just getting a snap off.
11 penalties for the Grambling State Tigers. Floyd Chalk. It's another handoff. Get it back to the line of scrimmage. Whit Weeks, true freshman linebacker, makes the tackle. They really like number 40 for LSU. Whit Weeks, true freshman out of Watkinsville, Georgia. His brother West, of course, also an LSU linebacker.
Yeah, they said sky's the limit for this young man. Tough kid, gritty kid, loves to get in there, get dirty in the run game, athletic enough to back up into the pass game as well. Bright future for number 40.
He's out there with his brother West right now, number 33. Stepping up, Calvez. Pocket collapses around him as LSU gets home. Jordan Jefferson, the West Virginia transfer, was the first one to the quarterback.
Yeah, nothing there. Zone coverage on the back end. Everything's just completely gobbled up. And then the big man gobbles up the quarterback there. Another 3 and out for this defense. That this second half has just been terrifying for the new quarterback.
First sack tonight for the LSU defense. Grambling's going to have to punt. Jimmy Isles from inside the 5-yard line. Aaron Anderson, who muffed a punt last week. Brian Kelly said he's going to be great. They are sticking with Aaron Anderson on this special teams unit. Calls for the fair catch here, and LSU will have it at the 41. That's good to see there, too. I mean, Aaron Anderson, very fast out of New Orleans. Brian Kelly was asked by several reporters this week if, Aaron Anderson's going to get more chances to return punts, and he said absolutely. Here comes Nussmeier again to lead his 3rd series. Got a couple of touchdown drives so far. Caleb Jackson will start this drive in the backfield.
I don't know. I think if they got a neurosurgeon that's taking care of him, I think especially because
2:24 to go, 3rd quarter.
I think maybe it's better to let
Anderson in motion.
I think our guys
Nussmeier looking right, throws that way. It's caught by the tight end, Markway. That's Mac Markway, another true freshman out of St. Louis. He'll get 8 on first down.
And this is where, in years to come, the magic of Brian Kelly, who's a tremendous recruiter, tremendous developer. Obviously, they've hit the portal well, but you still want to be able to bring in freshmen and develop them the way you want to develop them, and that's why he's so excited about this class and the classes going forward.
Jackson is Going to be fake the handoff, and that pass incomplete to Sampson. Well, that was a great fake by Nussmeier. It looked like Jackson was taking it right into the teeth of the defense, and Nussmeier pulled it quickly. And that was nearly right on the money for a touchdown.
It wasn't near. That was right on the money. You got to catch that ball. I think even maybe Sampson, the receiver, wasn't fully ready. Maybe kind of surprised him seeing that ball come out of his quarterback's hands, and just hands were not up ready to go to make the snag for what would have been a nice, easy walk-in touchdown for yet another freshman in Shelton Sampson.
That was deceptive. Nussmeier really sold the fake. 3rd down and 2, and another flag. That's actually going to be
First charge, timeout.
a timeout
LSU.
called by LSU.
30-second timeout.
There's Brian Kelly. Said, you know, last week was a total failure by the coaches, by the players. Knew he had to see things improve pretty quickly here tonight, and I think for the most part he has. As this schedule looms at Mississippi State next week on ESPN, and then right after that 4 more SEC games before stepping out of conference.
Yeah, the grind is about to begin, which is why it's good to get some guys healthy, figure out what you want to do with Harold Perkins on the defense side of the football, get this running back room situated. I mean, there's a lot of excitement for this LSU team heading into the season, and for good reasons. There's very few holes to pick at. Still need to shore up that back end secondary-wise, but, man, you got a really good quarterback, deep at running back, talented receivers, good offensive line.
Jackson, he's been good tonight, showing off his skills as he bangs to the 30-yard line. That's a 20-yard run for the freshman from Baton Rouge.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, man, if they were healthy last week at running back, I don't know if they would have beat Florida State, because Florida State is a really good football team. But those guys, Logan Diggs and Caleb Jackson, sure would have made a difference in that game. You know, it's still the goal is going to be, can we not make Jaden our leading rusher this season?
Hitting the backfield this time, still plows ahead to get a yard, maybe 2. Blaze Zito made the stop. Yeah, you know, Jaden Daniels, as great as he is with his feet, 9 out of the 15 games coming into tonight that he's been the starting quarterback for LSU, he's been the leading rusher.
Yeah, it just, I know he's great, and that's what, it's part of his game and special, but, you know, let that just happen. When things aren't there, let him run. Not as much quarterback design run. If you got great running backs, you're not going to have to utilize that as much for Mike Denbrock.
From inside the 30, Nussmeier hands off. Final half minute. Logan Diggs back in the game, carries ahead for 6 yards. About a yard shy of the first down marker. So it'll be 3rd down. Like a helmet came off. Oh my. Yeah, it's been a physical, punishing game here at times. And again, we're thinking about Jaquavis Richmond, sophomore linebacker for Grambling, who was carted off here earlier in the 3rd quarter. Early indications are that he's going to hopefully be okay. Logan Diggs got it, and that's going to be close to a first down for Diggs. 3rd quarter in the books, 56-10. LSU leading big and looking for more when the 4th quarter starts. Brian Kelly clapping. A little bit more pleased about the way things have gone here tonight against this FCS opponent. Final tune-up before SEC play starts next week. It's been a good night in Baton Rouge, Louisiana for the LSU Tigers. 2019, their most recent national championship. Of course, Joe Burrow leading that charge. He's a richer man by quite a bit. $275 million contract he just inked. How about that?
Much deserved. That guy is, man, is he good.
Nussmeier pretty good too, going to the end zone, looking for Sampson off his hands. That's the 2nd time that Sampson has had a ball on his hands. Nussmeier kind of smiling, looking over. Hey, that was right there.
I mean, just drops it. Santa Claus down the chimney, back in the end zone. Got to come up with that catch. We've had a couple drops for Nuss. He's trying to give presence.
Nussmeier hands it off. This will be Caleb Jackson again. Sheldon Sampson, another true freshman from here in Baton Rouge. He was the most accomplished wide receiver in the history of Catholic high school here in town. 2,500 yards, 31 touchdowns in his career. Another young player that, you know, LSU's fired up about, but he's had a couple of drops here in the second half.
Yeah, again, hopefully those jitters out a little bit, but, man, when you talk about a deep receiving room, you do not want to be dropping passes because you may not be seeing much of the field.
Nussmeier gets it to Anderson. Anderson on that tunnel screen. Changes field. He's got a first down, and he's inside the 5-yard line. Boy, Anderson, a great job putting on the brakes and going back the other way.
Well, they said force feed one, force feed one. You know, and we've seen a couple of these now from him and some jet sweeps where, man, it is just an explosion if you give him any sort of daylight after the catch. I mean, I'm just so impressed with this receiving core. They are, I know we talk about Ohio State and Texas has a really good receiving core that's had their night tonight versus Alabama, but man, LSU is 5-6 deep plus a really good tight end.
And now Jackson picking his way, has it. Backs his way into the end zone for the touchdown. 3-yard touchdown run for Caleb Jackson. And that's his second.
Well, that's a freshman that ain't letting the moment too big for him, regardless of what the game is, taking advantage. We're talking about the deep receiving room. This is a deep running back room as well for the Tigers. And I think based on what we've seen from Caleb Jackson here tonight, he's going to get a lot more opportunities as they get deeper into this SEC season.
The 9th extra point for Damian Ramos tonight, and it's 63-10. 10 plays, 58 yards in under 4 minutes. Another touchdown drive and another touchdown for the freshman Caleb Jackson. Coming up, the SEC football final crew will take us through their second Saturday in the SEC. 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central on the SEC Network. That's after Arizona and Mississippi State. That's not an easy game for the Bulldogs.
No.
The Pac-12 has been absolutely outstanding in the early going of this season. We'll see what Arizona can do. Oh, what's this guy doing here?
Wow, that looks like it hurts, my little man.
On the concrete.
He's young, he can handle it, right?
Well, yeah, and he weighs a lot less than us, so there's not as much impact.
Yeah.
At least me. Noah Kane taking it around the left end, and he's going to be stopped short of the goal line. Noah Kane, the senior, had a 1-yard touchdown run last week. We've seen Logan Diggs, Caleb Jackson, Josh Williams, Noah Kane from that LSU backfield. Second down and goal. And it is Kane walking in for the touchdown. Every drive tonight has resulted in a touchdown for LSU.
You remember last week, was it Oregon who put up, what, 80 points, something like that?
Yep.
Was it versus Portland State, I believe?
And Ole Miss did that, I think, too, right?
Yeah, but not to Oregon extent. I mean, this feels like that of that type of game. I mean, you could not script it any better if you're Mike Denbrock of coming out here and executing a game plan to perfection. I mean, just absolutely perfect, scoring on every single drive, regardless of the running back, quarterback, offensive line.
That's a nice round number to look at. 70-10 LSU. Let's take a look at the AP Top 10. Of course, Georgia taking care of Ball State today. Georgia, you talked about it, Aaron, during halftime. you know, didn't look great in the first quarter offensively, but they got things together and took care of Ball State. And Michigan goes to 2-0. Alabama, you just talked about the loss. You know, Nick Saban's not going to be happy after this one tonight.
Oof. I mean, at home, and they just got bullied by the Longhorns, and people screaming, how about two big brands with two big wins today? Miami, Texas, you know, kind of been non-existent for a while. All of a sudden, Texas takes out Alabama on the road. Miami with a huge win versus A&M at home, and all of a sudden, you know, that's good for college football. And then Florida State last week. I mean, three big brands right now are playing really well to start the season. That's great for our game.
Tennessee, 2-0 on the year. Grambling's going to start at the 25-yard line. You look at the LSU schedule. We've talked about it. You know, it's not an easy way to start the year, too, for LSU, Aaron, because they've only got 2 home games the first month and a half of the season, and this is one of them.
Yeah, it's you know, it's hard when you get that neutral site week 1. I mean, they're doing it next year too, playing Southern Cal, neutral site there in Vegas, I believe. So, you know, they like to challenge themselves up. You know, going forward, you can do that a little bit more with a 12-team playoff, and your room for error significantly goes down to start the season off. Makes it really tough for you.
Well, Brian Kelly said there was a mental disconnect at times last week in Orlando. Said there was no sense of urgency coming out of the locker room at halftime. Of course, it's an FCS opponent, but done all the right things tonight. Dejon Richard getting a carry for the first time tonight out of the Grambling backfield. He's out of Patterson, Louisiana. He's their biggest back, Southern Miss transfer. Picks up 3, 2nd down and 7. So coming up on 10 minutes to go. Another run for Richard. And no gain. That's Fitzgerald West, redshirt freshman defensive tackle, making a stop, number 68 for LSU.
And when you look at LSU's schedule going forward to, you know, Mississippi State, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Missouri, Auburn, Army, you know, this is valuable game experience for these freshmen, these backups, to get some tape in. You know, this is. You know, I know it could seem long for the starters who've been on the bench for a couple of quarters, but I know they're cheering their backup guys on, the freshmen on. Always exciting to see those young guys get out there for the first time on the field in live situations and then go back and get some film on them.
That's going to be incomplete. Intended for Nigel Lanier, who played at Tennessee last year. And it's going to be 4th down. And now I expect to see a heavy dose of the LSU run game to eat as much clock as the Tigers can to get this one over. Greg Clayton goes back to return the punt. And Grambling screening to get a player off the field. Now they've got 11, and that's going to be a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Penalty number 12 on the night for Hugh Jackson's group. And that look on his face kind of says it all. It's been a penalty-laden game for Grambling State.
Well, and he told us this week, is like, we need to be better, especially going on the road to LSU, but we need to be better week 1 to week 2 in every part of our game. And part of that is man, the little details of just staying on side. I mean, way too many full starts in this football game.
Start. Number 48, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
It's been 25 years since Eddie Robinson was on that sideline. We talked to Hugh Jackson this week. You know, he spent time in the NFL, twice as a head coach with the Raiders and with the Browns. And he always wanted to coach in college as the head man, and he's really excited about this opportunity. That snap goes over the head of Jimmy Isles. He's got to chase it through the back of the end zone, and that's going to be a safety.
I mean, LSU right now they beat that 80-point mark at this point. 9 minutes to go in the game. Add another 2 points with the safety. Woo! It is all LSU. Can't be stopped tonight.
It's been a tough night for the Grambling State Tigers, but what a proud history. 26 SWAC championships. That's most of any team in that league. 15 national championships in the HBCU, and 9 Hall of Famers. There's Doug Williams, Charlie Joyner, of course, and Eddie Robinson. Great man. 408 wins. The late, great Eddie would have loved to see his Tigers take on the Tigers here tonight. Now Hugh Jackson, of course, running the program in his second year. This team has not made the playoffs since 1989, and that's what Hugh came to Grambling to do. Get the program turned around. After the safety, here's the free kick. LSU to get it back with 9:15 to go. He'll take it back up the middle with Clayton, and he'll get it to the 41-yard line. So we've seen 3 quarterbacks tonight. Jaden Daniels, he looked really good. 269 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. That's a career high. Garrett Nussmeier was in for a few series. He ran the offense very efficiently, and now Ricky Collins getting some work here in the 4th quarter. The true freshman out of Baton Rouge, Woodlawn High School. Mike Denbrock said he grew a ton over the summer. He was an early enrollee, Aaron. And you know, for those freshmen, that's really important to get in early so you can get a part of that spring practice.
Well, especially for the quarterback position, there's just so much more to learn because you got to learn your spot, but you got to learn the receivers, the offensive line, the checks, the terminology. There's just a lot that goes into it. Yeah, the more reps you get in spring, more opportunities you're going to get to play early in the season like this in mop-up time.
Collins hands off to Noah Kane. What a touchdown on the last series. Gets it to the 46-yard line, and he's pushed out of bounds. 14-yard run into Grambling territory. There's Brian Kelly still coaching hard, even with a 62-point lead.
Well, this is also good from the sense of, you know, that nasty word coaches don't want to hear, the transfer portal. Well, you get guys some repetitions, some reps during the game. They start feeling a little bit better about being number 2 or 3 on the depth chart.
There's a misguided play. You can see Collins turn to his right. Running back went behind him.
Yeah, these are little mistakes you're going to see from the freshman quarterback. But you know, going back to, like, you can use this to continue to hit home to these young men. Hey, man, we're developing you. We're getting you playing time. We're going to make you better. And you're always, it's the hard part about being a coach nowadays. You're always recruiting.
And, of course, these players today, they can play 4 games and not burn a red shirt.
Yep.
There's Kane again. He'll lumber ahead. It'll be 3rd down. Yeah, that's the battle. You got to recruit your own players nowadays.
Yeah, during the season. I mean, the horror stories you hear of players going to their coaches and saying, hey, coach, I don't want to play anymore because I don't want to burn my red shirt. It's like,
different world.
What do we? Man, I'm all for giving the players some more power, but man, if we need you to get on the field, your butt needs to get on the field.
Pimpton goes in motion, the tight end, another guy they're excited about out of Fort Worth. Here's Collins showing off his footwork, and that's a 1st down run for the rookie quarterback to the 30-yard line. Yeah, he's got some wiggle. That's a gain of 13.
Yeah, and the smarts, too, to say, you know, maybe I can get some more yardages if I bounce this to the outside, but now let me put my foot in the ground, get north and south, and go pick up the 1st down. And you see that, like you alluded to, that little wiggle, that burst of speed to be able to pick up the 1st down.
"22 players took the field last week for the first time in LSU uniform. That number have been added to here tonight, getting, first reps. That's Johnson making the tackle. 11 true freshmen last week, 11 transfers. And Brian Kelly wasn't making excuses after the loss, but he said, hey, just so you know, there were a lot of guys that were in an LSU uniform for the first time last week.
Yeah. They had to rebuild this roster when he took over. I remember the bowl game from a couple years ago. They had like high 30s players on scholarship at the time. He had to come here and revamp everything. It was just amazing to see him put a field a competitive team last year. A lot of people had them as the 6th or 7th team in the SEC West, and they go and win it. But still, a lot of work had to be done to continue to build this roster. And now all of a sudden expectations are sky high of, hey, you did in year 1, go do it in year 2. And he feels that pressure from the fan base. Doesn't help that your women's basketball team won a natty, your baseball team won a natty.
Yep.
And everyone's looking at him saying, hey, well, football gonna win one now? It's year 2.
Kim Mulkey in attendance here tonight. Saw her and Angel Reese walking around pregame. Taking this play clock down as far as they can before they snap it. Trying to get out of here. Coming up on 5 minutes, Caleb Jackson back in the game. He's had a nice night, couple of touchdowns. Collins sprinting out, he'll throw it, and that is complete, and that's caught by the tight end Pimpton. Man, he's a big guy, 6'6", 242. You can just see that he's a future red zone weapon, perhaps.
Yeah, that tight end position, be able to move those guys around, and they got a great one right now in Mason Taylor that is, what you want out of a tight end position. So they have to get to see him day in and day out, how he works, how they use him in this offense, and then those guys go out there and try to emulate that as much as they can.
So 4th down and we'll call it 5 here. Go for it, obviously, nothing to lose. Keeping the offense on the field, 4:27 to go. And that is going to be short of the first down. And so Grambling will take over. LSU fell 9 spots to number 14 after that loss last week. They're not going to impress too many people with this easy win here tonight, but they're getting back on the right track, that's for sure. Brian Kelly said last week, Aaron, not the football team I thought we were after losing in Orlando. What do you think he's going to be thinking after this one?
I think he's, once again, like I don't know if they know the scores in these other games across the SEC, but I think you're going to see a team that was in the dumps last week, losing to FSU, kind of go back and say, hey, it's wide open, boys.
Yeah.
It's wide open.
Jacob Jones, the 3rd-string quarterback for Grambling, getting a chance. Freshman out of Nicholasville, Kentucky, runs for 19.
So I think that's the biggest selling point. You smell blood in the water. You know that, hey, man, we're not the only team that isn't perfect, that needs to grow. And at the end of the day, if you win the SEC, you're in. So, and we talked about earlier, not like Georgia's been perfect these first 2 weeks. Like Georgia's had a pretty lax schedule for their first 2 games.
Well, they're going to have a lax schedule really for the rest of the year until maybe you get to Ole Miss and then for sure Tennessee. But there are a lot of softies on that schedule.
Yeah, so I think right now, listen, it's week 2. Everyone's still trying to figure out who they are, what they got in this transfer portal world, which we alluded to a couple minutes ago. And these are brand new ball teams, brand new issues. So I think LSU right now is still in a great spot because it's already been a kooky first 2 weeks of the season. I think there's a lot more craziness that's going to happen this year.
Keeper for the quarterback, Jones, now running to the near sideline. He's into LSU territory. He's hit at the sideline, driven out of bounds. It'll be a first down here for Grambling. 72-10. Under 3 minutes to go. LSU is going to even up their record at 1-1. And I wonder if we're going to see more of this now. Last year, LSU played Southern. Now this year played Grambling for the first time. And wonder if LSU and Grambling will meet again in the somewhat near future.
I think after tonight, I don't know if Grambling wants that anymore is the problem.
Yeah, but it really helps their athletic department,
Yes,
and you know
I
why.
get that. Yes, yes. It financially does, and you know, these games are needed for it not being an exciting game, and this stadium being about 90,000 people now dwindling to maybe a couple thousand still left.
And there have been some great athletes come out of Grambling. We talked about Doug Williams earlier, Willie Brown, Everson Walls, Ronnie Coleman. How about Willis Reed, the great New York Knick? Of course, that 1970 NBA Finals, he became famous, more famous than he already was after that. .622 yards of offense for LSU. Well, this is what Jacob Jones can do best. We've seen that. But did the ball come loose? Looked like it might have been fumbled. And it was. Well, they're gonna stay with it. Grambling recovered it apparently. He was down. He was down. LSU did force a couple of turnovers tonight defensively. You and I are going to be at Auburn next week. Check out those Tigers. And timeout.
Second charge timeout, Grambling.
With 50 seconds to go.
30-second timeout.
Another reminder, next week, busy Saturday in the SEC. Missouri will meet K-State. K-State winning today. Texas A&M over Louisiana Monroe. Will play Louisiana Monroe at 4 Eastern next week. Samford and Auburn. Aaron and I will have that one. And Georgia Tech and Ole Miss coming off a win against Tulane. It was a busy football Saturday in the state of Louisiana today.
Yeah, that Ole Miss-Tulane game was a little nerve-wracking for Ole Miss fans who are accustomed to seeing Judkins and a Lane Miss offense run the ball effectively over and over and over again, and it really took them a while to get any sort of explosion going on that side of the football.
Tulane was without their starting quarterback and still played pretty well. Jones is going to run again, gets to the edge, and he's pushed out of bounds by West Weeks with 40 seconds to go. Sure hope that the Grambling linebacker Jaquavis Richmond is okay. He took that hit to the head on special teams here in the second half and was taken off by stretcher. The early indications were positive, so we can only hope for the best. Grambling going to try and stick it in the end zone here in the final minute. Jacob Jones sets in the pocket. He's going to throw toward the end zone. Some contact. Lands incomplete. Ashton Stamps, freshman corner, was there covering Guidry.
Trying to sneak one more in there. You know, we talk about LSU needing more film. You know, same thing for these young players for Grambling State. They want to, you know, they may not know next time they get an opportunity to play this season. Get them that experience.
Over 97,000 fans were here earlier tonight. Closer to 98,000. And that's probably going to do it. LSU gets its first win of the season here tonight over Grambling. 72-10. Are they going to run another play? They might. Why not? We'll see if Hugh Jackson calls off the offense here. That's it. Ball game. 72-10, the final. LSU
Into the fourth quarter.
had a rough week last week in Orlando, but things went pretty well tonight. Brian Kelly coming across the field to shake Hugh Jackson's hand. We'll see if LSU and Grambling meet again. This was the first time, and it went very well for the Bayou Bengals. Final thoughts, Aaron?
Yeah, for LSU, this is, nothing you write home about, but it's a win, and you feel good. And now it's SEC play starting next week for them, so get back to the drawing boards. But the depth on both sides, I feel better about if I'm a Tigers fan.
622 yards of offense, a career night for Jaden Daniels, the quarterback. He throws for a career-high 5 touchdowns, 72-10, the final for Aaron Murray. And for our entire crew, I'm Clay Matvick saying so long from Baton Rouge. LSU now getting into the thick of SEC play. They'll be at Mississippi State next week. So long from Baton Rouge. Have a good night.